connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, @RealNerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast at Denver Comic Con 2017 and beyond. A full crew today. I have
James.
Do you see that shit?
I was like ready to say it, and he just stole it from me. I'm Brad, and I brought stuff.
You brought stuff?
You brought, like, what, food? Did you bring me food?
Gifts.
Gifts.
You brought gifts?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wonderful
And,
gifts.
We also, Zach. Welcome.
Awesome.
Yep.
Did you bring something to share with everyone?
I did. I brought Zach a key lime
Twinkie.
Ghostbusters Twinkie. So here you go, sir.
There
Okay.
you go. Nice.
All right. Now it's smashed.
Yep.
No, it's not.
And then for you two assholes, you each get some Ecto Cooler.
Oh,
What?
shit.
Man.
Zach already had
Thanks.
Ecto Cooler.
Nicely done, sir.
Nicely done.
Ecto coolers for closers, man.
So
I'm gonna keep
ask,
this in my
because
fridge
I haven't
forever.
had it for 25 years. Is it a soda or is it just like high C punch?
It's juice, but it's in a can, which is weird.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks, Brad.
It's like fruit punch, but it's like citrus flavor.
It's like orange drink, really.
So it's orange juice in a can.
Not orange
not juice, drink.
Orange drink.
You said it was juice.
Like Orange Crush.
Like
in a-
purple.
It's Orange
Um,
Crush?
let me help you. It's orange and tangerine flavors.
Yeah, so it's like a mild orange.
Doesn't tangerine just taste like orange?
In a
is it
way.
green?
In a way.
James, you need to. I need you to.
Yeah, he doesn't even know
do
if it's green.
palettes.
I don't even know what color it is. What color is it? Is it green?
It's green and orange.
I mean the juice, not the.
Hey, Kellen.
The juice is orange.
Okay.
Kellen, are you gonna have some pizza? Oh, you're gonna have a Twinkie.
Just steal, just steal Zach's Twinkie. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, or he could. It's not yours. I know. The world is ruined.
Mommy's
Yeah.
mean.
Oh.
God, look at that waveform.
If only you weren't two. Yeah, he's getting really good at this. You're all right. Everything is okay.
Devastating.
Ah.
If
That
you haven't
Twinkie
known,
was gonna
my
change
wife
your
is
life.
like super mean to him.
Yeah. I don't think it's that.
He told me today. Kellen told me that. I said, Kellen, you want to go with Daddy? You gonna go bye-bye? No.
No, I'm gonna steal it.
I thought he was gonna go for the pizza. Actually,
I did too.
because he like loves pizza.
Right? Yeah. Oh, poor little kid.
I feel
Relax, I
bad.
didn't know what
I
that
brought
was.
this temptation into the household.
Oh no, he was gonna
It
freak
wouldn't
out
matter.
anyway.
It could have been James's Powerade.
It could have been.
Let me explain to you
But
something
probably
about children.
Uh-oh.
They always want what they don't have.
Yes, Father Ryan.
You know, parents.
Yes. Because I bought him a new Captain America toy. He's like, "Oh, cool, Captain America." Pff, whatever.
To be fair, I saw that Captain America toy. That thing is shit.
I know.
Like it's just an old style GI Joe, and I know because
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
That like they're super stiff,
Yeah.
so they're just.
Yeah.
I just keep mine on a shelf to display it, and then it looks cool. But if I were like 4, oh man,
I know.
or
I have a
2?
Green Goblin that's like that, and of course I only get it because I get any action figure
Well,
that's the Green Goblin.
Right? Yeah,
But
that's different.
but they're half the price of normal ones.
Yeah.
And there's no way I'm going to spend $25 so we can get a cool Captain America.
Yeah, it's one thing for like for an adult to have one of those because then you're like, okay, this will sit here and look
Yeah.
like Captain America. But when I was a kid, like my favorite Spider-Man was like the super articulated one that after you played with him for like 24 hours, couldn't stand up anymore.
Yeah.
But still, it was cool.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you could pose him like all the comic book covers. It was great.
But yeah.
Anyway,
Anyways,
what are we doing?
At Real Nerds Podcast, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we saw Kickboxer Vengeance.
Is there colon in it?
Yes.
It's Kickboxer colon Vengeance. Okay, cool.
How many? What iteration of Kickboxer is this? How many are there?
I think there's 4 originally, and then this is the 5th one. But I mean, they're not the same story.
But this one, I would say, is more of a direct sequel to the first one.
Yes, that would be correct.
Because Van Damme plays the same character.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen the original Kickboxer in a very long time, so I went into this relatively cold.
Okay, so stay
So
tuned
we'll
for
find
that.
out.
We also talk about movies we've been watching, movie news, Blu-rays that are coming out.
Yep.
We do movie stuff. I like to start every episode different. This week, we're going to start with what's going on around town. Brad?
Not much. At the drive-in, they've changed up to Sully, Suicide Squad, and Sasha's Party. And
What is Sasha's part? Oh, sausage. I thought you said Sasha. I'm like, what the fuck is
Sasha
Sasha party? Is that like a 70s porn that I've never heard of?
Yes, probably.
It probably is.
And I didn't look up the Midnight the Esquire. I think it's probably just Rocky Horror and The Room anyway. So.
You had one job to do.
Yep. And
Fail.
I ignored it.
And my only
Deliberately
job
ignored
is does anybody have the Alamo stuff up? Because I totally... my phone is... I don't know what I did with my phone. To
Well,
tell you
I
the
feel
truth.
alone on this.
I could probably pull it up.
Well, why would you do that?
While you're pulling that up, I will tell you that the best place to buy comic books is Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics in Arvada, Colorado. Say hi to Andrew. Start a hold slot. You'll get 20% off your comic book subscription.
I felt so bad last weekend. I went in there to go check on my hold slot, which I haven't bought anything from maybe 2 or 3 months. It's a mess.
Is it?
Yeah?
The stack's probably, if I stacked, what's that, 12 inches? 12 inches high?
Wow, that's a lot of
Worth of
comics. That's like 80
yeah.
comics.
So, and I bought $20 worth. So, it's not good. Yeah, I got like 6.
Yeah, comics are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss reading them as often as I used to. Okay, let's see. I'm doing this the hard way. So, the Ultimate Willy Wonka Party is on the 13th, so this Tuesday. Video Vortex Sakura Killers is on Wednesday, the 14th. Did I say the 14th twice? I may have. Anyway, the 13th is Willy Wonka. The 14th is Video Vortex. The Big Lebowski at the Great Divide Brewing Company at 6 p.m. is on Thursday. It's a good movie. It is also overrated. And then they're showing, this Friday the 16th, they're showing Hot Rod and Sleepy Hollow. So you can check that out. But the big one that I need to go buy tickets for, like, right now is Showgirls with David Schmader, which I'd seen the trailers for a number of times when I've been there, and it always looks really funny. And then when I talked to Stephen Kendall this week, they were like, no, you have to come see it, because he actually... so this guy is like an unofficial or maybe even official genius about Showgirls, which is a hell of a thing to be. And he actually he'll pause the movie. So he's got like a remote for the Blu-ray.
That's some good ecto cooler.
He'll pause the movie to talk about it. He fast forwards through the rape sequence. It just sounds like it's actually a really special experience. So yeah, maybe go.
Have you never
see
seen
that.
Showgirls?
I've never seen Showgirls.
There's
So I
a
think
part
that would
where
be a
they
cool
make
way.
their nipples hard with ice.
Amazing.
Have you not seen it either, Zach?
No, I've seen it.
I was going to say. You're deplorable like me.
Yeah. Oh, and just
You've been looking into my files, haven't you?
just to fill out, a little bit over a week. So on Sunday the 18th, they're showing Steel Magnolias. They're showing Roadhouse with a live commentary by David Schmader. So same kind of thing. And then there's a Twister movie party. So if you want to go watch Twister, it literally advertised that you will feel the wind and the rain, which makes me very curious about how wet you will get.
So
like, is this
they'll
like the
have
Jaws
fan
ride?
with like a spray bottle and the spray into the fan?
I hope so.
It's just a lonely guy just going like, "This is my job."
Yeah, they need to get the sign from the Jaws ride, the now I think defunct Jaws ride that says "You may get wet as you get onto the ride."
It's still at Universal's Orlando. I think they did take it out at California.
Okay,
They took the shark out of California.
yeah, because of Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm upset about that or.
I am. Fuck Harry Potter.
The Jaws ride in Orlando is really good.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all Alamo stuff.
Can I redo my around town?
Yeah, of course you can. Like we're
I
not
spaced, like, 2
professionals here.
things.
This
All
is
right.
it's 5 years of just like winging this shit. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, this is what's going on around town.
Do we have to play the segue again?
I'll edit it.
Yeah, you better. No, I want it in there twice.
Okay.
I want you to play the music twice.
What's going on around town? Redux.
Oh,
Remix. Yes, that's what I want.
All right, the Esquire. It's actually The Craft 20th anniversary showing.
That's the Witch movie?
It's one of the Witch movies from that era.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. My friend Brandon really liked that movie. It's all right.
And because it's cool and Ryan will like it, I'll say the following weekend is Evil Dead 2.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That's going to come up later.
I can finally complete
Actually,
my
not the following
theatrical-
weekend. The weekend after
So
Which weekend?
the last weekend of September.
Okay.
September 30th and October 1st, Evil Dead 2.
Sweet.
I've seen
Midnight
Evil
is
Dead
fine.
and Army of Darkness in a theater.
Never seen Evil Dead 2?
Not in the theater.
Get ready for a party.
I do love Evil Dead 2.
No, Evil
Yeah,
Dead 2 is
it's
one of
great.
the greatest horror films of all time.
Indeed.
And then the last thing I totally forgot is to tell people to come to the Esquire on the 15th for the 48-hour Best of screening.
Oh, okay. Great.
Come watch me punch James in the face with my own fist.
Get your tickets at the door. $8 at the door, $7.50 online.
$12.
There's also
going to
be 15. There's also going to be 15 movies there, but
So-
the main attraction is the punch in the face.
So it's only 50 cents to be indifferent until Thursday night? Okay.
cents?
Yeah. If it's $7.50 online, I can not make a decision until Thursday night and only pay 50 cents. I think it's great.
That's just for the face punching, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, yeah.
You want the movies? It's $12.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, Brad. For the Ecto Cooler, not for the segment.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Every week, besides seeing a featured movie, we also watch other films in a segment we like to call
Other films.
Stuff We've Been Watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Zach, what'd you watch this week?
Other films.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like a Lars Van Trier thing.
So, other films. I compare it to Hitler. Now,
I want nudity and nonsense. Done.
whatever you say, Lars.
Mm-hmm.
So I screwed up. I didn't see Kickboxer Vengeance this weekend.
You didn't screw up.
No, I didn't.
These guys didn't go see Sully. That's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
But we went and saw Sully.
We were on this podcast, all of us, when I said Kickboxer Vengeance was the film of the week.
Yeah, and then I said, and we'll go see Sully too.
Okay, so should I just hold off on Sully until the end?
No. Let's talk about Sully.
Okay, so I saw Sully, obviously for the Clint Eastwood marathon,
And because it's
it's
yeah.
it's Sully.
Yeah.
It was gonna pop up on my radar eventually.
Right.
I want that plane to look like it's crashing faster.
Crash into this chair.
So after
Brace for impact. Brace for impact. Ah, Tom, you better do this role. I'm too old for this shit.
so after 2 days, how do you feel about it? Because we saw this together.
Yeah,
So I kind of know.
And I think our conversation still stands on it.
Yeah.
It has the same problem that I have with any recent event movie, which is how do you tell a story about something that really has no emotional impact outside of the patriotic feelings that you can get and the feeling of comfort of humans coming together to during a crisis.
Yeah.
That's the emotional core of this film, and that's great. But I don't really care about Sully as a character the way I should be caring about him as a character. There's no...
You're going against everything else I've read about that.
I
Look at you with your own opinion.
I don't think that there's nothing to like. It's just that what I want to like about this film is not present.
Uh-huh.
So, that being said, the crash sequence was amazing. It was amazingly shot.
Yeah.
Beautifully executed, tense, suspenseful. And it's edited in a very unique way so that the story can flow even though it's a very short film. So, you're not really getting a lot of
Well, didn't the actual flight was like 11 minutes, wasn't it?
yeah.
I think it's 6.
No, yeah.
But yeah.
But the key thing is that you have to realize that they're switching between the crash or
tastes better
the
when you shake
landing.
it.
I should say the landing, and the investigation after the landing.
Yeah.
What I did like about this film was Tom Hanks's performance, and I don't know if they shot digitally for this one or if Clint was able to use film. I think no, he started on an IMAX camera.
Yeah.
So this film looks very crisp and clean. It's one of the cleanest looking Clint Eastwood films I've seen because he's usually very dark
Yeah.
and a lot of
I
crush
can tell you, I
blacks.
know they used the new IMAX digital cameras for it. I read a whole thing about it in Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah,
cool.
so this
About how they did that whole sequence. It's pretty impressive.
and it's less noirish than his films normally are. Like there's not a lot of shadow in this movie. It's very light. It's a very optimistic looking film.
It looks like The Terminal most of the time.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I would give the film, for my usual review scale on Clint films, I'd give it 3 out of 4 planes. So, and then I also saw with Brad Yoga Hosers.
Oh.
Oh.
You've had a rough week, haven't you?
I have. Yoga Hosers is the story of
I'm so excited.
2 Canadian girls fighting sausages and a goalie golem.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Shit.
There's a Nazi sympathizer
yeah,
takes the skin of his victims and turns into the goalie golem.
yeah.
What?
Imagine
It's like to Tusk. It's like what the walrus suit is to Tusk.
yeah,
Okay, so there's
with a Jason mask.
all right. So I have no understanding of what. Okay, so there's a guy. There's some girls, and they work in a convenience store, and they have some kind of adventure where they run into a guy who is a Nazi in Canada who's skinning people alive and turning them into a goalie golem,
Yeah,
like a skin golem that plays hockey.
Yes.
yeah. He's got his own hockey stick and everything, and instead of
He's an
you know,
artist.
he's that's
Is
the
he?
that's the beautiful thing is that Ralph Garman's character, who's the Nazi sympathizer, he's an artist and he's going against critics.
Critics trash his art
Okay.
back in the day,
And
then
so
he froze
he-
himself.
so that he could be more appreciated in his appreciated for his art.
This sounds stupid.
You know what? You're not wrong.
Okay.
It's definitely a dopey idea
It
and
is
a
a-
dopey film, but it was kind of charming a little bit. So
There was definitely something about the film that I enjoyed, but as I said in my review, this film was not made for me,
yeah,
and that's just fine.
Okay.
It was made for somebody, and I really hope they enjoy it. I really do, because I don't ultimately want to see Kevin Smith fail, but this film was the weakest I've seen of his filmography.
I told Zach probably the thing that the biggest missed opportunity is that the conflict is just that these girls have to stop this Nazi sympathizer. But if Kevin Smith had done what he'd done in the past and wrote a storyline that puts some conflict between the two girls' relationship itself,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's missing.
Like a movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
At the end of the day, they just show up and then easily, throw some punches and they save the day. It's not like they just go from A to B, and then Johnny
Yeah.
Depp shows up at one point.
Oh, good.
Well, he shows up at many points.
at many
with many
points.
moles.
With every frame they put on what's his name?
Guy Lapointe.
Guy Lapointe.
Guy Lapointe.
His moles are in different spots. Like every time the camera cuts
Oh,
back to
that's
him.
that's great.
Yeah.
That was in Austin
Or he
Powers,
has more
too.
of them. Yeah.
Or he has none. It's an interesting film, in as much as that the performances aren't bad. Like Justin Long's funny in the movie.
Yeah.
Genesis Rodriguez is interesting in the
And
film.
they also go to great lengths to introduce characters that eventually don't have
That
any
they don't
relationship
pay
to
off.
the end of the movie. It's almost like he's drawing attention to a cameo because it's a cameo.
Yeah.
Because every time they introduce a new character in the movie, there's this like you saw in the trailer. There's an 8-bit screen that does their vital statistics, a little Scott Pilgrim-y.
Okay.
So as the girls go through the school day, it's like they have one for each of the friends that they run into, and then each of the teachers they talk to, and then none of those characters have any involvement in the end of the film. from then on, it's just the girls and then Guy Lapointe and then Ralph Garman's character.
Yeah.
So it's lazy.
It's
kind of
a
the
mess.
Ryan, I miss Kevin Smith.
I do too. I haven't seen it. I'm going to go see it because I am a fan of Kevin Smith. I do think he's an incredibly intelligent man. The interview he had with his daughter for Yahoo was really great.
Is she good in this movie? So I don't mean to interrupt Ryan, but I have hope that
she's not
fine.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She and Lily Rose hold their own.
I mean,
Okay.
just when she asks him who his favorite performer is, and he goes on this tale where he said, "You're my favorite performer because you got me excited about making film again."
Yeah.
And I like that, and it's a really sweet moment. And I think, while I think Tusk is, I don't think it's a bad film. I think it's a different film, and I respect him for Tusk a lot because anybody who's willing to take a chance like that and just go balls deep in is fine. But I miss the Chasing Amy Kevin Smith. I miss
Red State.
the Red State Kevin Smith. I'll say it because I know everybody else. I think when he started becoming a huge stoner is when it really affected his output.
Yeah.
Because the Kevin Smith who wrote Chasing Amy to me has a voice that I think can't be matched in cinema.
Yeah.
The way he writes dialogue, the way he has characters talk, I think is some of the best.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of got away from that. If he sat down and focused on characters again, like Brad said, I think he would make a film that I would fall in love with.
Well, and I will say, like, he wrote Red State, which I think is his masterpiece, while he was smoking weed. But he was depressed. He was coming off of stuff he didn't like, or that he was really sad about, and like out of that struggle, he actually wrote something he really cared about. I feel like right now he is surrounded by a lot of people who really like him, and he's getting that like George Lucas stank on him, where like no one tells him no, and when he says things on his podcast, like, I think it'd be funny if I made Human Centipede but with a walrus, everybody thinks it's so fantastic, and that he goes and does it, and it ends up not being fantastic. What was so great about him was when he did things that weren't what people expected.
But I would also argue that scenes with Justin Long and I can't think of his name in
Michael
Tusk.
Parks.
Michael Parks and Tusk are incredible scenes.
Yeah, but I think they're incredible because Michael Parks is incredible. I don't know that the movie as a whole, like,
Oh,
that
no, I
movie
agree.
falls on its own weight.
I agree.
And I guess I need to see this one, but at the same time, I just am like, Chasing Amy is as good as it is. Clerks is great because no one had seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing Amy is great because no one expected that from him, and so is Red State. Like, no one expected a movie like that, and it breaks so many
Yeah,
conventions.
but-
Like, it is so smartly structured.
But I think that's what's been missing from his films of late, his last few, save Red State, because there's that great Michael Parks monologue in it. But,
Yeah.
even in Dogma, when Bartleby and Loki are talking at the beginning
Yeah.
with Watkins, brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think he should go back to focusing on those characters.
Yeah.
Or, he's obviously going to make Moose Jaws, because I think he said it's already financed.
Great.
So he'll make that, and that's fine. And I think it's an interesting concept. But I want to see his Mallrats show do well. I want him to get back to that View Askew universe.
I want him to do. I want him to do Hit Somebody.
Yeah.
Every time, like when you heard him talk about Hit Somebody, you could hear an actual passion in his mind to tell a story that he thought was great and that moved him. And that is the kind of art that I think he is best at, is when he tells something that's really personal. That's why Clerks 2 is really good, because he's talking about how he felt at that age. And so, like, this just sounds like, I get it that it's him having fun, but like this, listening to the description of this movie is the most depressing conversation about a movie.
Yeah, I want to see it. I keep on looking. I haven't seen it in theaters around here. Is it playing anywhere?
It was
only
at
the Century 16, right?
It was at the Aurora Century 16. That's where we had to go in order to see the movie.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I started on a podcast recently. He said, like, he wants to make stuff like Clerks 3, but the problem is that financiers are paying him to make stuff like Yoga Hosers, and no one's giving him money to make Clerks 3.
Yeah,
Is
which is
there
an
a-
interesting...
Is there a script for Clerks 3?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
I
He's
forget what the reason
posted
was.
about it
He said
several
there was
times.
he said there was some specific reason about Clerks 3 that, like, and it's based on the history of, like, how it's done at the box office.
Sure,
Why
yeah.
they won't give him money for it.
Yeah.
But for, apparently when he brings up stuff like, Canadian sausages fighting, like, people are like, here, take it, take my, make this movie with my money.
Okay.
Like it's strange how much easier it is to make schlock than his heartfelt stuff. So
Maybe she just shouldn't call it Clerks 3.
Right, sure, yeah. Like, make a...
But, I will say, too, hopefully he'll get back, because he's excited about directing Flash and Supergirl and stuff, so, maybe he'll rekindle... I mean, I'll see, because I like the man, so I'll see what he does, but...
Yeah. But I will probably rent this thing when it comes out, but,
you should.
You won't have to wait too long. That wasn't a dig. I think that was the plan from the get-go.
Oh, for sure,
a very limited theatrical
yeah,
release.
then you at least throw it out on VOD for a while.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
And then the last thing that I saw was, I saw A Prairie Home Companion again because I was just curious about like why I picked it as my number one, because I knew why I picked it, but from last week's episode, I wanted to watch it again, and I stand by my decision because it's a very charming film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like depth to the film that I think that Altman was going for. That's outside of the whole radio thing.
Yeah.
It's more of just like getting old, really adapting to Garrison Keillor as a writer and not just the concept around him. Like there's more to this story than just, hey, we're putting on a radio show.
Yeah.
Wee. No, there's the things about like just how the fates of the universe work and how we as a culture kind of slip and slide into different fads each and every other day, and I totally dig it. And I also had more of appreciation for Meryl Streep's performance this time around. Because it's each time I watch the movie, I think I'm focusing on a new character because it's an ensemble piece.
Yeah.
So
Wait, an Altman is an ensemble?
I know, crazy, right?
He also introduced the world to Huey Lewis's dong, so...
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
That comes out on Blu-ray next week, I think.
Yeah, it's either next week or the week after, yeah.
And actually, I do have one more thing. So Spencer Kane and I paid tribute to Gene Wilder, and we went and saw Blazing Saddles at the Alamo. That was one of the best experiences at the Alamo I ever had.
Man.
This is just nonstop
Because
laughter.
Blazing Saddles
Did they
is
do
an
anything-
amazing film.
Did they do anything special like to introduce it? Just
no
play the movie.
introduction.
They just gave everybody a can of beans as they walked in.
I wish.
Wouldn't that be great?
So cool.
They give everybody...
That's what I should have ordered.
They
Was like a burrito or something
They
like
should
that.
have
So I could
given you
afford
a
it at
can
that
of
moment.
beans and a bag of dimes.
They
and I
should
think it'd been awesome.
Yeah, they should have given everybody like a free bowl of baked beans. Like just one of the little saucers of baked beans.
And then like just
Are you
time
listening,
it.
Alamo Drafthouse?
oh, man.
So they should have timed it just right so that when that scene comes up, the whole audience can just like give out a fart for Gene.
Yeah. Funny or
The new foundation farts for Gene.
little known fact that Ryan you will appreciate is
Can you make that a shirt?
my mom brought the showing up today, and she was like, "Oh, I was so sad I didn't get a chance to go." My mom loves Blazing Saddles.
What?
And specifically remembers the fart scene as one of the times she has
Wait,
laughed the most in a
let's stop.
theater.
Your mom loves a raunchy rated R comedy.
Yeah.
I love your mom.
Yeah. Well,
Love-
and thinks that the fart scene is hilarious.
It is hilarious.
It's great. It's so good. But yeah. Anyway.
And you won't. Well, she may not have to miss it because I heard that AMC is extending their programming of that and Willy Wonka.
Oh, cool.
So Warner Brothers is keeping it around because apparently
They want to make money.
They
They
wanna make
want
money.
to make money, and I don't know how much it made on those 2 showings that they had last week, but
Yeah.
apparently made enough. And it's enough for Alamo to have 3 different showtimes for that Willy Wonka movie party. 'Cause I
Yeah.
checked, and I'm probably going to the 8:15 one. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Very cool.
if
Neat.
if I go,
Yeah. If you make it. Very neat.
that's all I watched this week.
Cool.
All right, I'll go. I watched a few things. I watched Dinner for Schmucks with Schmucks. I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh yeah.
And it's so bizarre, but like brilliant at the same time. I don't know how to describe rewatching it, but there's so many great comedic actors in it. I mean, the dude from Flight of the Conchords, Jermaine, what's his name?
Jermaine Clement.
There we go. And Steve Carell is really bizarre in it. Zach Galifianakis plays a mind reader who's banging Steve Carell's wife. It's sad and funny, and I don't know how to describe the film, but I haven't seen it in years. And with Tradesmart going out of business, their used Blu-rays were 70% off, so I got it for $1.50. It's like, oh, all right, I'll watch it.
Trainsport's going out of business?
Oh yeah.
Somebody hasn't been listening to the podcast.
I haven't.
Yeah. So right now, all their new Blu-rays are 50% off. Used are 70. So there's not very many good used, obviously, left.
Right.
But I picked that one up, and it is literally, I think, $1.25, and I enjoyed it. I remember kind of liking it when it came out, but wasn't that overly impressed with it. But watching it again, I get kind of the dark humor in it and the subtleties and the performances that I was just really impressed with.
Cool.
And yeah, so that was fun. I watched The Nice Guys. I've watched that 4 times since I've bought it. Because I just keep on like catching new nuances in Ryan Gosling's performance that I just keep on falling more and more in love with. And I really hope that La La Land is as great as people are saying it is, and he gets nominated for Nice Guys and La La Land, and he'll be competing against himself. But I still think my favorite line that's a really big throwaway line that just proves how much of a goober Ryan Gosling's character is in this film is they're sitting there and they're talking about Misty Mountains, and Russell Crowe goes, "The porno actress?" It's like, whoa, young lady. The porno young lady. And it's just the way he says it is just amazing. So I freaking love that movie. And I'll get now to new stuff. I got my Shout Select of Roadhouse.
Oh, boy.
And I watched it 3 times because the first time I watched it...
You're insane.
The first time I watched it, obviously just straight. And then the second one, there's a commentary by Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome on it.
Okay.
And then I watched it with the director, which he's fun, but he's not as fun as watching it with those guys. But Roadhouse is so ridiculous that I just forgot, even though I watched it recently, it's a movie you have to watch continuously to get all the ridiculousness out of it.
Yeah.
In a world where it came out around the same time as Cocktail, where Cocktail was, look how cool it is to be a bartender. It's not that cool. and now Roadhouse is, Dalton is the best bouncer in the world.
He's a world famous bouncer.
True. And he charges $500 a day, $5,000 a month. So it's $5,000 a month plus $500 a day.
In 1987?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. 88, 87.
So quadruple that.
The movie has tons of gratuitous violence, gratuitous nudity.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott's...
Amazing.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze's bouncer... Messiah
Sensei.
teacher sensei guy.
He's basically like the Splinter of...
Yeah, but the funny thing is that you totally buy Sam Elliott in this role.
Yeah.
Because, he calls him, and of course he's working at a strip club so they can just show a bunch of tits flashing on the screen.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah, which you should. And I don't know, something about Sam Elliott just makes him so cool.
Yeah.
He has a scene...
It's the mustache.
Yeah, and his voice. He has a scene where he's dancing with Doc. I think she has a real name in the movie. I think it's like Natalie or something. But her credit is Doc.
Was she going to medical school or something?
No, she's the doctor.
Okay.
And
that's
so,
right, yeah.
so remember, Patrick Swayze carries his medical records around with him so they can see what's happened to him. And she says, "Do you want any anesthesia, whatever, pain medicine?"
Anesthetic, yeah.
Yeah. Pain don't hurt. Great line.
Pain don't hurt.
I carry his 3 rules with me when I'm out working. Never underestimate your opponent. Take it outside. And be nice.
Oh, that movie's dumb.
It's so awesome, though. I love everything about that movie because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
At the end,
And
I
a
love
polar bear.
I was just going to bring that up when the fat guy is stopped by a polar bear, and they just murder the townfolk murder the bad guy.
Yeah.
And they hide the guns, and the police rush in, and they say, "What happened here?" "Well, I didn't see anything." And this dude literally got shot by like 5 shotguns. And then they look at, the lackey, and they look at him, and, "What happened here?" "Polar bear fell on me." It reminds me of the Monster Squad, where the mummy's in my room.
Yeah.
It's funny. And then at the end, for some reason, Patrick Swayze's totally naked, and so is his doctor, and they're like skinny dipping in the water. I don't know why. That's how it ends.
Yeah.
Yep, but they're also with like them ripping throats out, and I still love the part where he rips the dude's throat out, and it terrifies Doc, and he drags that dude's dead body into the lake, and he says, "Wesley, fuck you!" at the top of his lungs.
That scene is so
And
good.
then at the end, he's kicking the shit out of the bad guy, and he rears his arm back like he's going to rip his throat out, and the doc comes rushing in, and he stops. He's learned his lesson, guys. He's not going to rip any more throats out. I fucking love this movie.
Lesson number 4, no throat ripping.
I can't wait for the Roadhouse television show to happen someday.
I don't know if I could ever live up to the quality of... I should just do Roadhouse and Point Break like back-to-back one day.
Fuck yes.
Because that would be fun. So yeah, I freaking love Roadhouse. And the shouts to the act are freaking amazing, by the way. Because they
should totally do Point Break.
They should.
Holy shit.
So the first disc had the commentaries on it, and then I didn't even know this because for some reason it's not covered that much. The second disc of Roadhouse is like there's a documentary. So there's a 2-disc Blu-ray set.
Oh, cool.
And they call it Shout Select because you can either order it from Amazon or their website.
Oh, okay.
And now they're starting to do like really limited runs on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Which they do with Scream Factory stuff anyways, but it's cool. I love the Shout Scream label. So yeah, I should pick it up. If you see it I would definitely get it if you're a fan of like 80s cheesy B action movies.
If you're a fan of Roadhouse.
If you're, you can just be a fan of action movies and love Roadhouse.
Right.
Isn't their next Shout Select Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
It is.
And the Bogus Journey?
Yeah, combined. And if you pre-order it from their website, you get like an action figure.
You get a Rufus doll.
Yeah, in a phone booth. They're doing the same thing with Child's Play. If you pre-order it from Scream Factory, you get a little Chucky and a Good Guys package.
Nice.
With the DVD, the Blu-ray. So it's cool. If you order from their websites, look at me just pimp them out. If you order from their website, you get their stuff 3 weeks early.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I would order it from them, but they still charge you for shipping. So the only one I did order early was Army of Darkness, but I'll wait for Amazon because it's usually like $10 cheaper, and I don't pay for shipping.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
And the last thing I watched, part of Tradesmart going out of business is they have Blu-rays that are cheap, and I saw this one Blu-ray. It's called Stage Fright, and it's a slasher film / musical.
Awesome.
And, yeah. So I was like, why the fuck not? It was $6, and it's actually pretty good. It's a Canadian production. Meatloaf is like the big famous person in it.
Okay.
And he plays this camp counselor, like charge guy, chief camp counselor.
Manager.
There we go. And it's a camp in Canada where kids go and they're gifted. They sing and dance and they put on a show. And so the show they're putting on is a Haunting of the Opera, which is a take of the Phantom of the Opera. And while they're doing this, there's actually a slasher guy murdering everybody in it.
Awesome.
And it has actually pretty catchy songs, and it's shot really well. It's shot by a guy, I listened to the commentary. He's a really big musical theater guy. And so he wrote all the songs. They performed them. So when the lead actress does the singing, it's more a traditional musical. When the killer does it, it's like metal rock. And so Meatloaf has a few, too, that are kind of a mix of like 80s kind of metal rock.
But it is a traditional musical where
it is.
Like the music's not all built into the play in the movie.
Yeah, it's a traditional musical. I mean, when they introduce all the kids, they're in a cafeteria and they're singing why they're going to the school.
Awesome. Sounds great.
It's fun, and it's super gory. It's
cool.
What year is this from?
2014.
2014.
Oh,
really?
no shit.
Yeah.
This sounded like something that would have come out straight out in 1985.
I don't know
when
where
you
I
said
missed this.
Meatloaf, I immediately thought, oh, this movie's 20 years old.
I mean, I don't know how I missed it. The what's going on in my house?
You have a 2-year-old.
That sounds like my wife broke something. The original poster's badass. It's one of those smiley faces that you see in theaters, and it has like a knife going through it.
Okay.
The Blu-ray cover art's meh, but yeah, I would recommend it if you're a fan of musicals and or slasher films because, I mean, Minnie Driver's in it for a second, and she dies by taking a machete like right through her teeth, and they show it. I'm like, holy shit. Because, when you see it, I'm like, I don't know. It's not rated because it's, like a direct-to-DVD kind of thing.
Yeah.
I guess it had a little theatrical release. I'm like, I don't know. But then I saw some of the effects. I'm like, holy shit, this is, like, hardcore. Like, people are getting butchered. And the only one thing I will say sometimes that happens when you get first-time directors is they like to use, like, slow motion, and it drives me crazy in film at some points. Like, every time the killer is shown below the stage, it always starts off in slow motion. but in not like a cool slow motion. I don't know how to describe it. It's like the zombies in Resident Evil 2. Then every time the zombies are on screen, it's like that blurry kind of slow motion.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Cool.
Roadhouse.
Brad?
Well, I missed the show before last week's show, so and of course we did Film Explosion after that. So I've got like 2 weeks of shit to burn through. So let's just I'll touch on each of them really quickly, and then we'll move on.
Cool.
So at the EFP Talks, a local film called Hush Money screened, and it's about this guy who's down on his luck, and he gets a job to kidnap this girl and hold her hostage and then like demand ransom money. And then it doesn't quite go as planned, and a lot of the movie is him just kind of stuck in this house talking to this girl who's, I don't know, maybe 10 years old. So
yeah.
Oh, just in time to ruin my segment.
Oh, Pshaw. He's fine. He's just here to get the. He didn't forget about the Twinkie.
He's back for the Twinkie.
Yeah.
He will not rest until he gets the Twinkie.
Anyway, so was it good? I think I saw a trailer for this or something. Like I had heard about this before.
Yeah, it's good for a local Denver low budget film.
Sure.
It takes a weird turn in the middle when the girl escapes from the house and then goes to another house, for safety.
Yeah.
And then her kidnapper. You're sort of sympathetic towards his situation. Like he's not out to hurt the girl. He just wants the money to solve this debt that he's like this is his last chance with.
Yeah.
And she gets to this house, and then the old lady there insists that they come inside, and she drugs the kidnapper, and then when he wakes up, he finds out that the old lady and I think her son have been kidnapping kids and draining their blood to give to their own kid
Weird.
who needs a transfusion. So yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, and then once the kidnapper wakes up and like thwarts that whole business, they escape, and then it kind of goes back into the movie that it was. And I almost kind of wish like if they're going to go with that scene, if they just went darker and darker and took more weird turns than that.
Yeah.
But it seems like this weird deviation just to pad out the length of the film, like just sitting in a house with the girl and like trying to get the money wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So other than that, yeah, that was pretty good.
Cool.
And then let me get my screen back.
Do you know, are they going to release it online or anything?
Yeah, they're working on it.
Or is there some place else people can see it?
I think they're trying to do some other local theatrical releases.
Cool.
But it's mostly they're going to negotiate for on-demand stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Netflix releases. So Hush Money, yeah, if you ever see it on any streaming service, check it out.
Cool.
I went to the Star Trek 6 dinner feast at the Alamo.
Oh, awesome.
And that was fun, except they advertised that like the main course is going to be like blue spaghetti.
Yeah.
And the chef comes out beginning of the show, talks about how much he loves Star Trek 6, and the amazing feast he has prepared. Like he studied like all the frames of the movie to pick out like especially that the where the Klingons sit down for dinner. Like he studied like all the frames to figure out like what can I actually make for you to eat. And
yeah.
he champions the blue food.
Yeah.
And then things start coming out a little later than the scenes he claims they're going to come out for.
Yeah.
And then finally this kind of like a pho dish comes out, which is and it's not blue. Like I look at it in the dark and it's like, this just seems, and I hold it under the light on the table and like, yeah, that's not blue. So it's almost like they're running behind. They were like, forget dyeing everything, just put the food out.
Yeah.
Because also they're like the dessert was this ice cream, like caramel ice cream sandwich. They says like it'll be out by the time they're on Rura Pente, and like Rura Pente was almost done by the time that thing came out, and it was rock solid.
Oh,
like
yeah?
everyone in the theater's like trying to chip away with their spoons. It's just like you're just hearing like
So you
ceramic
hear a series of
clanks.
clinks and clanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like pink, pink, pink. And, like yeah, it was.
He tried to get pretty crazy with it, and some of it maybe didn't work.
Yeah, like they made the ice cream last night, threw it in the freezer, and then didn't bring it out soon enough to thaw. So
Well, that's too bad.
barely ate any of that at the end, so that was kind of a bummer. But it was cool to see that movie in the theater.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then, oh yeah, I didn't get to talk about Don't Breathe the week you guys saw it. And
how'd you feel about it?
I enjoyed it with two problems.
Okay.
It's hard for me to root for a bunch of little fucking thieves.
Sure.
Like,
fair. It is hard. Yes.
yeah, like there's no characters to really be, like, you just kind of like, okay, I'll side with the girl, I guess, because they're in the most dangerous situation. But like early on, I'm like, yeah, the blind man should kick their ass,
Right.
and punish them, and
Especially money.
yes,
money.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
money.
I was like,
Yeah.
good, gone.
Yeah. Right. Yo, for sure.
But I was like, I don't care about if they survive this because they're a bunch of fucking thieves.
All right.
And then what was the other thing?
Did it have to do with a turkey baster?
No, I was fine with that. I was actually, I listened to your.
You're fine with that. You're fine with that. People in Detroit stealing because their parents are abusive and terrible, and their only option is to hook her. Well, that's terrible. But raping people with a turkey baster, meh.
Well, I just felt like
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I thought it was good because like I felt it needed something to set itself apart in some way.
Yeah.
And then like
Well, and because like what you just said, like in order to make you kind of feel okay with these people like robbing and maybe eventually killing this guy, like he needs to be the devil.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for sure.
And I guess I'm frustrated by the end of
Yeah.
like it's trying to set up a sequel. And
Oh, you felt like it was trying to set up a sequel?
well, yeah, because he survives. Like he shouldn't have. Like they go out of their way to like make it look like, oh yeah, he's dead, and then they do the typical horror thing. Like after doing a lot of things that are unconventional,
Yeah.
and then the ending resorts to like, oh, the killer's still out there, bullshit.
What, doesn't he go to jail?
No, he goes to the hospital.
No, he goes to the hospital. Remember, he's considered a
Oh.
hero because he survived a vicious attack.
That's
into his
right.
house.
Yeah.
I think I blacked out because I had checked out of the movie once the turkey baster happened. So you're right. Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if like did she return to just because I couldn't figure out where the arrivals and departures
No,
were.
she was leaving, go to L.A.
Oh no, she had
remember?
the movie to go wherever she wanted to go.
Right, but like they did this one shot of like the arrivals and departures arrows, and then I couldn't tell if like she was going back to Detroit or like immediately rushing to LA.
I don't know.
Like, is her
I can tell
decision-
you that airport wasn't the Detroit airport, so it may be that
I
she
think
was
it was the
arriving
train.
in L.A. Yeah.
Or was she
Are
already
you
in
guys
LA?
watching the movie?
No,
she
I
was-
just
she was
told
boarding
you.
a train to leave.
Oh, that's right. It was. Yeah. I don't think that the arrival departure thing is a red herring. Maybe it was for you.
Don't breathe sounds
Well, my
complicated.
thought was like
It's not complicated. It just fucks everything
she
up.
knows she won't be safe as long as he's out there. So did she stop going, like stop running away? And or for the
No,
sequel, she's going to go back and try to stop this guy.
No. I think she's learning at that point because she is on her way to L.A. or wherever it is she wants to take her and her sister daughter, and I think that scene is her realizing that what she thought she was gonna do, which is get him in trouble for locking a woman in his basement and raping them with a turkey baster, like didn't happen, and that he ends up looking really good because of the dumb decisions that she has made.
And also, how did he like clean up all that shit? Like he was injured from the fall, and then
Well,
the
'cause
cops were already there, and they pulled his ass out of the basement, and yet
Yeah.
they didn't find evidence of any of the other bodies.
Well, no, because on the
Yeah.
newscast they said he killed them to save himself.
Right.
So
yeah, like
the reason the bodies are there is because they were attacking him and he fell down.
Yeah, the framing of everything you just said of the fact that she is there to rob them or to rob this guy gives him like this somehow culpable excuse for, hey, these people broke into my house and I'm blind, so like I defended myself and ended up killing them. The thing I'm unsure about is like, did the cops go into his basement and find the crazy rape dungeon?
I feel like they would have had to. Like, how
Right.
They,
Yeah. So I guess if he was able to clean that up,
there's no
somehow.
time. Like he was
Yeah,
already
you
on
want
the
me to
floor
tell
as
you
the
how
cops
it
were.
works.
Yeah. Yes.
in
please.
cop world.
Okay.
If so, no. And so when, let's say there's a crime committed in somebody's house, and you say, "Oh yeah, I killed this person here and here," they have to get a search warrant. You have to get a search warrant to search specific areas. So if they had no reason for it to go in the basement, then they wouldn't put that in the search warrant.
But there's a dead body in the basement. Oh no, he moves her.
Yeah, and
that's
he
right.
could also just shut the thing and says, no, he came in here, I shot him by the front door, and I shot him over there.
Also,
But don't go in my creepy rape dungeon.
I mean, when did he get the gun back to shoot the guy by the door? Like, last time I checked, he lost it on the shelf in the workroom, and then he stabbed that guy with the shears, and then went away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, he's blind.
I can't remember.
So there was no scene of him, like, feeling around on the desk to grab that, huge Magnum gun?
I don't know.
It was underneath. He grabbed the gun underneath his bed.
No, yeah, that was earlier. He at that point has lost the gun for a second, and then he gets it back. Which, if I didn't have the problems with the movie that I have, I would totally let that go and be like, because it's cool, because we need that character to
Watch it
die.
again.
Yeah, like it's important because we need that character to die so that she has her moment of realization where she's like, oh shit, I got all my friends killed because I'm dumb. This was a bad idea, and he was totally right, and I should never have hung out with money.
Yeah. And that basement scene is cool. Like when
yeah,
like everyone's pupils are super dilated, and
yeah.
I thought that was a cool trick. And how many bullets were in that gun? Because holy shit,
Mine holds 17.
like it looked like a revolver, but
Yeah.
how many shots did he fire off? Like 30?
I can't remember. Yeah, I do remember having a moment.
It's an
where I was like,
ever-sharp
wait a
gun.
second.
It's unlimited bullets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for convenience, unlimited bullets.
you just don't get anything you want.
I
Anyway.
know life's hard.
Yep.
He hasn't taken a nap today, and he's...
Yeah.
So I went to Scott Pilgrim at the Mayan. They had a cool live bass battle.
I hear that's always amazing.
They the two bassists admitted that they were not great ahead of time. So, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of bass live, so
Sure.
it seemed fine to me. I also saw Deadpool at Red Rocks, and that was a lot of fun.
Still good?
Cold and rainy, but fun.
How was the audience? Was the audience shitty?
The audience was fine. Like they didn't have any problems like when you did, but
Yeah.
there was this one guy who showed up like 5 minutes into the movie with his girlfriend and sat like right in front of us.
Yeah.
And they were like that obnoxious couple where the guy will ask you to just roll with her obnoxiousness so that he can have a good evening.
So, like, she was talking about you being terrible?
It was like apologizing for her.
Not apologizing, but just being that like alpha male way of like, dude, it's fine. Dude, it's fine.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, so that was annoying. And he'd like try to bro up with you, like, you know, hey man, what's up? And, like give you a high five and stuff. And it's like, oh, just fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
Yeah, and nothing excuses your girlfriend for being an obnoxious asshole.
Yep.
But much more fun was Star Wars at Red Rocks, The Force Awakens. Which,
Oh, cool.
We were in like the second row, and it's just like, even though it was stereo sound, it was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
It was so much fun, and like everyone cheered at like all your favorite best moments.
Yeah.
Well, I think Star Wars fans are... I've always said this. I never mind people cheering and having fun in movies.
For sure. Yes.
I don't like when you're obnoxious in movies.
Yeah.
Like, if I went to Deadpool and someone's like, you know, when Deadpool does that jump, turn, and shoots people through the head, and people are like, oh! Like, I don't care
Right,
about
yeah.
that stuff. But when something happens on screen and they go, psst,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shut the... unless you're blind.
I've always said that one of the best experiences I've ever had in the theater was seeing Pulp Fiction at midnight at the Esquire, because you were in this audience of people who've all seen the movie a 1,000 times, and they're all like laughing and cheering, sometimes like inappropriately because they're doing it. Like, for example, when the Golden Watch scene starts, people laughed when it starts, and then they don't laugh when the jokes happen because they're just laughing because they're excited because they're like, "Hey, this is about to happen," you know. But it's fine because you get like this communal experience that we're all in this together.
You know, I always used to worry about that with Army of Darkness and stuff, but people really appreciate that film, so I don't have issues with people.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's unfortunately for Deadpool, it appeals to the audience.
It appeals to
that I
Deadpool
don't-
fans.
Yeah, the Rob Liefeld guys.
Yeah.
I figured it was going to be a lot of really high kids who are like, you know, halfway checked out, and you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just people laughing, where
Good.
you'd expect in Deadpool at least, and then
Yeah, that's great.
Star Wars, you know, the Millennium Falcon gets revealed, huge cheers. Harrison Ford shows up on screen. Cheers.
I mean, because that'd be cool because it wasn't, I think 8,500 people or
6,500.
6,500 at Red Rocks?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was packed. Like, they were
I'm sure.
squishing people in.
That's cool.
Yeah, when Ray gets the lightsaber.
Oh, I like cry when that happens because I'm such a movie weirdo.
Dork.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
I gotcha.
When it flies by him and she grabs him, there's like a little tear that literally wells up in my eye every time.
Yep.
Yep.
And my wife just gave me a look like I'm a goofball. Or a little bitch is what my wife said.
I just thought of a interesting idea because you were talking about a blind guy in a movie theater and the whispering for like, this is what's happening, like they describe thing. What if a blind guy went to go see Don't Breathe?
He'd be very confused.
Why am
I will tell you that
This sounds like torture.
you've heard the story of when that happened to us, right? The first time we went to the Alamo,
Oh, yeah.
we went to see Ghostbusters, and the whole thing, and we're so excited, like, oh my gosh, we're getting to see a movie at an Alamo, like this dream come true, and this is where we're gonna come see movies all the time, and it's Ghostbusters, so there's like a little bit of noise, and it was pre-screening, they hadn't really opened up yet, they were like training all the waiters and that kind of
Servers and
stuff. Yeah,
stuff,
like
yeah.
I think the food was free or something like that. Or
Like
the showing
$5
was free.
or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It was like the food was cheap and the showing was free. So I wasn't going to complain too much, but I was really disappointed because there was somebody behind us who kept like whispering, and you just not real loud, just that like that sound. So after the movie's over, I'm a little bit angry. But I'm like, okay, like, it's Ghostbusters, like, this isn't a brand new movie, like, people are gonna have their fun. But I turn around and I see one of the people who was behind us. And when we're in the lobby later, we're standing around and I see that person again, and they're walking with a blind person. And I just, all of a sudden, I was like, oh shit. They were, because it wasn't a modern movie, so it wasn't like they could get the like they couldn't go see it with closed caption. So their friend was describing the events of the movie to them, and I was like, oh shit, I'm the asshole. Yeah,
because I'm sitting there like this motherfucker behind me.
Oh god,
I'm gonna punch him.
I'm just gonna take a whole bowl of popcorn and throw it at him.
And he was really doing like a civil service, like helping a blind person understand
right.
Ghostbusters.
At least they didn't see you when you were looking back and glaring at him.
I don't think. That took a second. I didn't get it. Unless she whispered like, "There's a douchebag in front of us," and he keeps looking.
Ignore him. He's insensitive. He's an asshole. Yeah. And then the last cool thing I did was I went to the Adult Swim drive-in.
What?
Adult Swim held a, I guess, preview screening of kind of the fall season of their shows.
Oh yeah. Those ones I've got online that you can like vote for.
I think so. I haven't been online.
Oh, okay.
So it was for Adult Swim programming.
Right.
Okay.
At the 88 Drive-In, which is where I've been going in advertising.
Did they show a show called like Bad Guys or something like that?
Yeah. So
okay. All right. So
I'll
yeah,
tell you.
I've seen these. Yeah.
So I forget I didn't write the names of them, but it was like an hour and a half worth of stuff. And the first one was like, and they were all pretty stupid. The first one was like this guy checks into this medical facility where they're going to go inside his dreams, and it's actually pretty well animated. It's like the Scanner Darkly animation.
Yeah.
For everything that's not in
Rotoscoped. Yeah.
For everything that's like in his head, as they're like breaking down. I forget he has like this confidence problem, so it's like all these flashbacks to his life in high school, and it was just weird. And then the second one was this thing called Mops, where it was about this janitor in a school who's cleaning up stuff in a typical day, but the whole episode is like on fast forward. So it's just people who like talking squeaky and fast, and then you're just watching everything move at 3 times the speed of everything else. And eventually there's a food fight in the cafeteria, and then he like fights the principal and becomes the principal, and it's that is unusual. Show, what's the other one?
There's the one where the guy's like a superhero and his hand talks to him, right? Like he's got a hand puppet or something like that.
That wasn't in there.
He's like locked up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny.
Bad Guys, which is
that one was all right.
Yeah, because
it feels like a ripoff of
Frisky Dingo.
No, I was gonna say, well, yeah, Frisky Dingo and like and the Venture Brothers when it's all about the Monarch.
It's a show if it was just if you only focused on this super villain and then his, I guess, lesser supervillains. But the only cool part that I enjoyed about it was like because the three of the characters are voiced by Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, and June Diane Raphael from How This Get Made. So
and the other one, I think the main villain is Key. Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, and that villain was like super obnoxious, and his whole plan is he doesn't have a gold throne, so he's going to summon Rumpelstiltskin, so he has to kidnap a blonde woman, and then he puts her in the back of like a moving van, and then this cop shows up, and it turns out the cop is like dormantly Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
So when he sees straw on the ground, he's like, I can't help myself. I must start spinning this into gold.
Yeah.
And he gets his gold throne, and then the Paul Scheer and Jason Mantzoukas. Like, Paul Scheer's like this giant, like, huge axe-wielding villain or something. And then Jason Mantzoukas is some midget, like, sidekick.
Right.
Yeah, I said midget. And then
you're so edgy.
They infiltrate, like, this white-collar cubicle office and take this job next to this guy named Mitchell. And they frame him to get him fired because they don't want to, like, have a cubicle with him. And then Mitchell ends up taking a new job with the supervillain team.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends.
Yeah.
So that was probably the best one of the group.
It felt the most coherent, at least of the ones I saw. It sounds like you saw some different ones.
Yeah, and there's like a couple like throwaway things that I've already forgotten to like pad out some of the.
Yeah.
But there's no like, oh yeah, there was an episode of Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Is that the one where like some people are wandering through a swamp?
What?
Some of them. So when you watch these online, like you can vote up or down for them, and if you just vote down, which I did on a couple of them, it just stops and moves on to the next one. So like some of them, I only saw like little snippets of these episodes, and I'm watching and I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it said this is the premiere of season 4. So
okay.
Oh
so
yeah,
maybe
Your
this
Pretty
is a
Face
thing.
Will Go to Hell is
that's what.
Yeah.
Pretty Face
Oh,
Go to
it's
Hell.
already
Yeah.
a show. Oh, okay.
It's got Dana Snyder in it, who voiced Master Shake. But it's like this committee in hell, and they decide like they're doing these Straight Outta Compton music videos like Weird Al, but it's like for all the stupidest, like even for every letter of the alphabet, they have like a parody of like Straight Out of B, Straight Out of D, and I don't know why they're trying to make these music videos, and then like when you get punished, you get sent to another department of like things to do in hell. And everyone's like wearing horns and like shitty devil makeup.
Okay.
But they're wearing like polos and things. And then last thing was an episode of the Eric Andre show, which is fucking weird. Guests just show up and he's like, he'll smash his desk apart and there'll be a bathtub in there and they'll strip naked and like sit in the bathtub and, someone like Flavor Flav's just watching him like, what the fuck's going on?
Weird.
Hannibal Buress is off to the side just like making weird faces, saying like, oh, this show sucks. It's bizarre. So,
okay.
And it was like the whole experience was more of a social experiment because they told you to show up at 5, and I showed up at 4:30, and they said like, well, we're still going to make everyone be here at 5, so go park over here at this other lot, the Mile High Flea Market lot.
Weird.
And then you're going to get checked in and then led over to the drive-in. So I showed up early and then like parked. The only spaces open were at the kind of the end of the lot, even though I was there early. And then 5 o'clock rolled around, and they said they were going to come by and tell everyone, like, okay, now move into the line. But all of a sudden, 5 o'clock hits, and all of a sudden these cars, no one's come to my car yet. There's just a line forms, and no one's, like, letting people who are, like, stuck, who have already parked.
Yeah.
So if you showed up at 5, you were better off, like, if you got there on time.
Yeah.
Like, you just moved right into the line. But if you showed up early, you were stuck in this parking lot waiting for people to, like, let you in to get in the line.
That sounds dumb.
Like, people were bumper to bumper, like, fuck you, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
I'm getting in. And then I
gotta see my Dumb Adult Swim shows.
Yeah. And so finally, if you were lucky enough to get into line, you were led over to another section of the parking lot where they relined you up, opened your trunk, checked all your shit, made sure, like, I had a glass bottle that they confiscated because they didn't want glass.
What the hell?
I had a prop from Thunderbolt in there they thought was glass. I was like, nope, it's plastic. I had to prove that. They passed out, like, some swag. A lot of people got, like, Adult Swim posters. I got a coffee mug from Your Pretty Face Goes to Hell. And then you had to, like, sign in with your QR code. Like, they came by with iPads, checked your QR code. And so this whole process took about an hour and a half
Holy
in this
shit.
parking lot. Yeah, and then, like they did waves, like 20 cars would go, and then they'd move another section of the car. Like they let more people in to fill in that spot, and then they'd wave the next section, which was me, over, and then they lined you up based on the traditional thing of like if you have an SUV, you get a blue post. If you have a gigantic truck, you get an orange post. And then that was like an hour of waiting around for this thing to start. And they had food trucks, which was fine, and some like games to do. But so that was like 3 hours to just get to the hour and a half of programming, which was pretty like, this does not speak to me. Like, I am a generation of Adult Swim before this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the appeal of all this.
I would have left hours ago.
Yeah. Like, at one point when I was back at the lot, I was like, why am I even here?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's going to be terrible.
I don't think I ever told the story about when Zach and I went to go see Kuba and the Two Strings like 4 days before it released for free.
Oh, yeah.
And we literally, I got into the theater. The whole experience was pretty fucked up. They had like blocked off a huge section of the theater for like reserved or whatever. So people were only sitting in the front section and the far back section. And by the time we finally got in there, like the only seats available were on like one of the far sides. And I looked at Zach and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this. And we left.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even though I could have watched that movie for free, I was like, no, like this is a bad experience. I'm not participating. And I went home and I went and saw it that weekend.
We went and saw The Nice Guys, and we ended up staying and sitting in those seats that you and I were about to sit in.
Yeah, the same
It's
thing.
an uncomfortable experience.
I'm never fucking doing that.
They've
Like,
done that.
It's for godless heathens. Those seats shouldn't exist. Like it's a terrible experience.
Those
Don't
middle
treat me
seats,
like
they
that.
like sell out to like radio stations as giveaways or people who.
Yeah, no, it's an awful experience. And if they do that, like now that I know that they do that, guess what? I'm never going to those showings again. Like I will go to the Cool Alamo ones where I can get whatever seat that I want and I get a better experience. But it's not worth it to go see something early if I'm going to have the whole experience ruined for me. And you're going to treat me like some, secondhand citizen. Like, oh god,
Yeah.
like it's just terrible.
I mean, I can't complain too much because it was free. But
I can't. No, I can. I can absolutely complain because it's free.
But it just, I felt like, at one point, like, there's a lot of, like, there's a better way to do this. I don't know why they're
Yeah.
doing it. Is this a trick?
Right.
Is this just a test?
Everybody
to see
running it
who
was actually
freaks
like
out?
like a sociologist, or psychologist or something, like measuring to see like who's going to leave, who's going to kill themselves, like how far can we push these people?
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
But, it was interesting. And then, the last things is Is she going to drown him?
It's okay. Not everyone at home. I think so.
Yeah, so I watched season 3 of The Blacklist, which I'd kind of written off after season 2.
Yeah,
because
but you kept watching.
Well, I was like, I'll give it a chance. I didn't like how they kind of made the lead female character, like they kind of took her out of the field, made her just do typical women's storylines.
Whoa, no, sexist.
Well, season 3 starts out, she's kind of...
Explain to me what a women's storyline is.
Season 3, like, I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, she's planning a wedding, and she's excited to have a baby. Like, this used to be field agent.
Okay, all right. Now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this was a character that was, like, in the field, and, like, now I'm more interested... Like, I'm only interested in what Red Reddington's up to.
Yeah.
And even his... the rest of the FBI team has more interesting stuff going on.
See, and people complained in Alias Season 5 when, like, she got pregnant, was still out in the field. No. That's how I want it. I want her pregnant and doing cool stuff.
Do you want anything spoiled? Because
I don't give a shit. I stopped watching that show.
Okay, so I'm sitting there going, like, why is this character still on here? They should get rid of her.
Did they?
Yep.
Wow. So the main character of the show is now gone.
Well, I'd say Red Reddington's the main character, but she's a very important part of the story.
Yeah, so I would disagree in that part. Like,
I mean, I haven't said anything in like 20 minutes,
Yeah.
but Red Reddington is the stupidest character name I've ever fucking heard in my life.
it is really bad.
Well, it's Raymond Reddington.
Yeah, that's like...
I don't care. That's still stupid. That's like Greenberg.
I'm gonna write a TV show called Green Greenberg, starring Ryan Frost as Green Greenberg.
I will not take that part.
Was it Ben Stiller in a movie called Greenberg?
Greenberg.
Yeah, no, she's totally the main character of that show. I mean, that would be like if you made Alias and you got rid of Sidney Bristow and made what's his face, the guy in charge of SD6, the main character. Like that's a supporting character. Like that's who Red is. He's a great supporting character who's interesting, but he's not a character. He's this like weird, cipher thing that just causes shit to happen to the story. Like that's bad writing. If they failed the character, that's on them. It's not like, God, I'm so glad I don't watch that show anymore. That's so frustrating.
That
You
smile
should-
on your face is just
I
hilarious.
know he won't let me finish my thought.
I know.
Like I was going to explain something, but he's
Okay, great.
just going to
Go
let me roll
ahead.
with it.
Go ahead. Whatever.
So a lot of the season is like a lot of stuff happens with her still in it. It's kind of towards the end that they take her out of this situation, but they still do a really damn good job of making me want to watch the next season, because what happens at the end is so like frustrating and mind-boggling.
The word is manipulative.
Yes. There's already the problem of the show of that, like, everyone has limitless resources. They're anywhere they need to be at any time. But at the end of the day, like, their cliffhangers are so compelling. I'm bored. I want to know what happens season 4. And her dying is actually pretty important.
I bet it is. She's the main character.
Yeah.
If you killed Jack and Lost, you know what happened when they killed Jack and Lost? Spoilers. The show fucking ended. Like,
I was sitting there going, like,
Or did he die in the first episode?
oh, fuck you. Watch the damn show.
yeah. I should also say, like, as I was watching the Blacklist this season, I was thinking, like, this is pretty much 24, but if there was no ticking clock and anyone could get anywhere they needed to at any time.
The show, season 1 was Alias. It was a shitty version of Alias. Like, they were trying to build a lot of that same stuff. They did the same, like, maybe my boyfriend is a spy, maybe he's not.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, too,
Like,
is,
people
like,
keeping secrets from each other in a romance. Like, that's all the same shit. They just did a bad job of it.
And then the last thing is I watched one episode of Stranger Things, and I don't know what the big deal is.
Because you only watched one. So, cool.
All right, is Brad's podcast over? Fucking hey.
Just kidding, it was awesome.
Okay,
Stop
great.
interrupting me. You can't let me just get... It's one sentence, and it's on to you.
Yeah. Was it good?
That's why it took so long.
So you only watched one episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's cool.
Yeah.
I thought you were done too, though, Brad. So
I did too. Yeah.
sorry.
You guys are the best.
I also wouldn't put it past you to watch an amazing show and be like, oh, I don't get it.
I was holding off for so long because, like, I wanted to pay attention to it because I heard it was so great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I finally had enough time to watch one episode. And I'm like,
I'm surprised you. Well,
how many are there? Is there
Wait,
10?
What do you like about Stranger Things, Brad?
Like right away, like the first couple scenes, there's like so many homages to the coolest 80s films.
Yeah.
Spielberg stuff, and then
It doesn't stop.
I mean,
And when they do it, it's all like character driven.
yeah, the whole first episode, it's just all set up. Like, I don't know what's going on. I need to watch episode 2.
Yeah, you do.
Like, other than there's an abduction and there's a monster on the loose.
I think strange things are going on.
Yeah. I was like, I want to know where these threads are going.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for you to finish it.
I want to
Yeah.
be on a movie poster so bad.
Yeah.
By saying stuff like, it's an adrenaline rush.
It's just been revoked.
Cool.
So anyway, that was 2 weeks worth of stuff.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Hopefully that'll never happen again.
Hopefully. Yeah, yeah. Great. So I also saw Sully. I think that movie is kind of passionless. Basically, it's the momentum is all screwed up. It's not very well edited, and they try to tell a really cool story.
Wait, back up. A Clint Eastwood movie's not well edited?
Yeah,
Burn.
and so
Whoa, now wait a minute.
no. And they actually do a thing. If you've ever seen From the Earth to the Moon, the first episode, which is one of my favorite episodes of all time of television, which is it's an episode about the Apollo 1 mission. Did you ever watch that? I think
I haven't.
Okay. Anyway, so they do a similar thing where they take the event. They actually start after the event has happened, and they're trying to tell you the story about, Sully not necessarily being like this witch hunt to figure out whether or not he did the right thing, really putting a lot of doubt in his mind, and he's having these it starts off with a dream sequence where he fails. Spoilers a little bit for the first scene of the movie, but I think it's the one thing that for me, and that I told you before this movie, or before the recording, makes this movie worth seeing is actually the way that they, I don't want to say prey on, but tell this story about like this guy's 9/11 fear.
Yeah, it's trying to capture the anxiety of 9/11.
Yeah, and so there's two main things to it. One, Sully keeps having these like he keeps rerunning the event in his mind in ways where he sees himself failing, and so you get this great emotional pull into the character, especially early on, where you realize like if he got it wrong, he's gonna feel terrible. But the motivation for him doing what he did was he knew what the other outcomes were. And when you watch those outcomes happen, you're like, oh shit, like the stakes do feel high there. The problem is just that then because of the way that they edit in the actual events in basically 3 different chunks out of order to sort of give you like pieces of the story until at the end they finally show you like, here it is from the cockpit, here's what he experienced and what he went through, and it's not the worst structure. It just feels, even at 90 minutes, like it feels a little bit flabby, and it feels like it distracts you from that tension. There's specifically one part where they're building all this tension about this witch hunt and whether or not like people are going to just turn on Sully, and then they go and they basically tell the whole story of, and it's a long sequence of people after the plane has landed on the river, people getting off the river and jumping in and you're like watching people jump in the water and start to swim away and then get saved by these divers and like all this stuff that is interesting, but what it actually does is completely rip all of the tension and momentum out of the film. And so when you get back to the witch hunt, you're like, oh, right, I forgot. And so it just really it just ends up being really clunky and not hitting you emotionally the way that it should.
Those additional shots of the rescue do feel a little bit bloated, but
yeah,
at the same time that's also where the only real heart of this movie lies.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the heart is kind of
I think
you investing yourself in Sully as a person.
Right, but that's the thing they don't do well enough is like you have all these phone calls between him and his wife that are never a fraction as good as those equal scenes in Apollo 13, right? Like in Apollo 13, you have a similar thing of like him having this relationship with his wife and him going through this terrible experience and her being at home, and they never build enough of an emotional impact there either for me to be like, oh, like I need her to have a scene where she drops her wedding ring down the drain. Like I need there to be a character there as well, and she ends up just being this stand-in so that he can tell us what he feels by being on the phone. Which it's disappointing. I do think it's worth it because there are some really fantastic shots of like, today is 9/11 when we record this, and we were talking about this beforehand. There's these amazing shots where you're watching the plane land on the river, but from across the city, and so you're seeing it from the point of view of people in some of the buildings, and like the moments of horror on their faces, they don't know what's going on. You also spend, I think this was really great, was they spent a lot of time with the guy who's on the radio talking them down, basically, whose job it is to tell them what the right decision is to make and how to save the plane from crashing. And that guy, a little bit of spoilers for Sully, but I think this is an amazing section of, like, at least an amazing scene and great character in the movie. That guy goes, when the plane goes down in the river, everybody in the room knows that, like, if a plane goes down on water, it's a crash. And, like, most likely a lot of people aren't going to survive. There's even one guy who says, like, no one survives a water landing. And so he gets issued up and led away because they've got to, like, drug test him and stuff. And we don't return to that guy for a while. And when we do, he's sitting in this room and a guy comes in and he's been in this room for hours and no one has told him that everybody's okay. And he thinks that he has, like, completely failed at his job. And it's an amazing little moment in this movie that it's just too bad that, like, the whole is not as good as the sum of its parts somehow. So I think it's worth checking out. I don't necessarily think you need to go to the theater for it. There's some really good stuff here, but it ends up landing itself in like a Parkland or a Bobby or something like that, where it's like it's telling you neat stories about real events, but it ends up being a little bit, even as good as some of the scenes are. Like in Parkland, you've got that great doctor sequence, but the movie as a whole doesn't hit you as well as that one sequence does, and so that's where this sort of lands for me. Lands for me. Sorry. Anyway.
No one's laughing.
I know. I
gave him a thumbs up for encouragement.
Just keep going, James. We have other
Here's
things
a gold star, James.
I got a chance to watch the first episode of Atlanta, which is the new show written, and I don't know if he's the creator. I don't think he directed it. But Donald Glover from Community is the main star. He also is like the show creator. It tells the story of Donald Glover is sort of this. I don't know. I don't want to say he's a loser. He has things in his life that he cares about, but he's also really bad at things. And a lot of people think he's a loser. He has a friend, I think a cousin, who is becoming like really popular on the streets as a rapper, called Paperman. Paperboy, and he has a song called Paperboy that everybody's listening to, and Donald Glover's character decides, like, I want to be your manager, and to try and prove that he wants to be his manager, he goes and does this stuff to basically get this guy's song played on the radio and try to get into this, because he's like, if I attach myself to this guy's coattails, like, this guy's going to be the next 50 Cent or whatever, this'll make or break my life. But the show, the first episode is bookended by a fight in like a parking lot with the Paperboy rapper. Donald Glover is there, and this other guy that we don't really know why they're all fighting. And then in the very first scene, you know that a gun is going to go off. And then the episode ends. I thought it was going to be like a season-long thing. And the episode ends, and all of a sudden we've jumped forward some, and you're hearing on the news like, okay, Paperboy and Donald Glover's character are both like in jail for like killing a guy, or they've been arrested, and that somebody has been shot, and so there's clearly going to be this mystery of like, okay, what really happened, and is he totally fucking up his life? And he's clearly trying to break up the situation, but he gets drug into this bad thing, right? It's funny, I had a conversation with our friend Kendall from the Alamo Draft House about this, because she hadn't watched it yet, but she was really excited, and I was like, this is one of those things where I need other people to watch this and tell me sort of whether it's great, because it reminds me very much of when I watched Girls the first time. I think there's some really amazing stuff happening here, but for some reason, like, it's not grabbing me quite yet. Mm-hmm. It's entirely possible that this is brilliant on the scale of like a Louis or something like that, where this is not that it's trying to be funny, but just like that this is a really honest television show about what poor black 20-year-olds in Atlanta are going through, and like what their life actually feels like right now, or whenever the show is set, though it seems pretty present. But it's hard. I think either I am emotionally too distant from that situation, or there's just so little in this first episode to really draw me in that I can't quite measure it yet. I definitely think it's worth checking out. It's FX put the first episode up for free online, so I think it's pretty interesting, and it's well written and well shot. But I just don't know how I feel yet. But definitely pretty interesting. The third season of *Halt and Catch Fire* has started. The show is fucking good. And then moving on to the last thing, I got a chance to go see *Hell or High Water*, which is written by the guy who wrote *Sicario*, or at least the screenplay is by the guy who wrote *Sicario*. And it stars
Jeff Bridges,
Chris Pine, and Ben Foster. It's basically like a modern Western. Chris Pine and Ben Foster are Ben Foster plays the older brother who has been in jail for being a bank thief, and Chris Pine, who has always been the straight shooter, in order to keep their mother's land that they have recently found oil on, but in order to keep it from being repossessed by the bank, they need to steal a surprisingly small amount of money. So they devised this plan to hit a number of banks for a specific reason that I don't want to spoil, and only get the money in the drawers. And if they do like 5 or 6 of them, they'll have enough money to pay off the bank and save their families and such. Jeff Bridges is the Tommy Lee Jones-esque, somewhat racist like Western. He's a Texas Ranger who's going after them with his partner, and it feels thematically it feels very similar to like 80% of a No Country for Old Men. It's definitely not as good, but I think it is a really decent, cool Western where you're rooting for the bank robbers, but you also know, again, very similar to No Country, you have these characters who keep telling them, like, you can't do this. Like, there are reasons why this isn't going to work. And so watching them go through these sort of ethical questions and how things end up resolving is really pretty fascinating. And I think there's a final scene or a conversation late in the movie, I should say, between Jeff Bridges and Chris Pine that is really well written and leaves you some of that same feeling like the last scene of Sicario, where you don't actually know what's right anymore. And they both draw some attention to like really good motivations for why their characters did some stuff. I think it's a fantastic movie. The biggest thing though is you got to see this movie just because I think Ben Foster is amazing. He steals pretty much every scene that he's in, and in ways that are not always completely expected. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you can go see it while it's still in the theater. It's worth your time. So yeah. Anyway, that is everything that I have seen. Woof.
Time to choose sides in this week's Blu-rays.
DVD releases and Blu-rays.
Marvel's Captain America: Civil War is coming out on Blu-ray
I choose
this
Team
week.
Spider-Man.
That's not a side.
It is.
Okay.
It's the winning side.
Yeah. So everyone should go
I
buy
will
that.
be at Best Buy as soon as it opens to make sure I get the badass steelbook.
You know,
Oh, is it awesome? Oh,
It's
man.
like half a broken Captain America shield, the other half is a broken Iron Man mask. It's pretty awesome.
All right, I'll do that.
you know what's weird about Best Buy last week is South Park season. Oh yeah, I watched that too. South Park season 11 came
God
out
damn it.
on Blu-ray, but they didn't get the DVD copy at Best Buy.
Huh.
Oh,
So I had to go to Target and get the DVD version.
Yeah, it's weird.
wait, you want the DVD copy?
Yeah, because I've always.
Oh, you have all the DVDs, so
That-
it's like why
I mean,
convert?
South Park does look pretty good in HD, but
Yeah.
It's
I
also-
don't think it matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
because I do the same thing because all mine are on DVD too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just took me by surprise for a second, so I was confused. Sorry.
But
Cool.
yeah, I was like, why Best Buy? Not even you can't even order online from Best Buy.
Oh,
Like,
weird.
Yeah,
Huh.
just the Blu-ray version.
Bizarre. Best Buy's
They're phasing out DVD.
Best Buy's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been disappointed the last like 5 times I've gone there.
I like them. They have that Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Well,
Steelbook.
sure. Yeah.
They
yeah.
get cool
Yeah.
exclusive like
and they have a Star
packaging.
Trek Beyond Steelbooks coming out.
I know.
Awesome.
Star Trek Beyond comes out next week. That's
Yeah.
really fast.
I heard that's the one I was gonna buy. I was gonna buy a 4K of that, but I ended up not. So
It's weird. Digital Bits. They said they show it's coming out next week, but they also said like the release date's November, like in a article.
weird.
So I don't
Maybe
know
they
if
messed
that's
up.
true or
'Cause that
not.
seems really fast for it to
Right?
come out.
Yeah. Well, or maybe they've pushed it back when maybe like at one point that was a release date, and then it was in theaters for a while, and they were like, well,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh,
we
it's making money.
Yeah, maybe we'll give the VOD a little more time. So cool. Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping is getting its Blu-ray release this week, which
I
I'm
really
excited
wanna
for
see
because
that.
Yeah.
I never got a chance to see it, and I've heard
Oh,
from
just me,
Zach.
only me and Zach have seen it.
Yeah,
I'm so humble. Every time
Yeah.
I see that, I just laugh.
yeah.
I'm not gay. I'm not gay.
Connor, for real.
The Conjuring 2 is getting its Blu-ray release this week.
Great movie.
Awesome.
Still need to see it.
see it.
One other kind of crummy thing about Best Buy is that sometimes I'm in Best Buy and I'll like accidentally trip and things will just like fall into my cart and accidentally get purchased. So be very careful if you go to Best Buy this week. Season 9 of The Big Bang Theory is out. Make sure you don't accidentally buy it because I wouldn't want anybody to potentially support that thing. Longmire, the 4th season, is coming out this week. I think that's the first Netflix
That's on
season.
for 4 seasons.
Yeah, well, it got canceled and then moved over, so I think Netflix is making it now.
Yep.
My folks have been watching it for a while. So, Aliens is getting a 30th anniversary edition. I know nothing about this Blu-ray, so I'm not sure if it's good.
I think it's the same Blu-ray you get in the anthology, but it comes with like production art and everything. It's like a
Oh.
cool little set.
Oh, okay,
It's only $10, so
cool. The original Yours, Mine, and Ours with Lucille Ball is getting its Blu-ray release, as well as Transformers.
What was that?
Yours, Mine, and Ours. The Lucille Ball film. Transformers the movie. That's the animated movie, not the amazing
I used to
Michael
always
Bay
get scared
film.
when I was little when you saw like Optimus Prime dead.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that spoilers for that? No, that's pretty. That's right.
It's been 30 years. I think it's okay.
It's like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's part of Shout Select.
That movie's older than I am. Just saying. The Wolfman Complete Legacy Collection, as well as the shoot, I didn't have it. I must have closed the window accidentally. But Frankenstein is also getting a Universal Monsters box set
Blu-ray?
release.
Yeah, but I was telling James before we started. So it's all the Wolfman and Frankenstein Universal catalog movies, which is cool, except the sets overlap each other. So each set comes with, Meet Frankenstein, Abbott Costello. Both come with House of Dracula, House of Frankenstein. So you're really only getting like 2 or 3 movies. But I guess the good news is I think it's only like $30 for the set, which is pretty reasonable. But I don't like I'm not a fan of the cover art as much as I am of the Wolfman and Frankenstein cover art I have for my Blu-rays because it's the original theatrical posters.
Right.
And I love like the 30s style theatrical posters where it's like all pulpy and
Yeah.
Yeah,
these are kind of
those are
weird
the ones
looking.
that I'd rather have. I want those sequels. I want.
yeah,
them
that's what I
bad.
mean. I want them. I'm really torn on it. Maybe in person the packaging looks better.
You know they have the Ultimate Collection. I know it's it's pricey, but
Yeah, the Ultimate. I have them all. The Ultimate Collection is just the core titles.
Just the Prime films, yeah.
yeah.
So I have them, and the reason I didn't get the Essential one is because it comes in a package. I mean, it looks cool, but like I said, I like the poster art,
Yeah.
so I bought them all separately and probably paid another like $40 to get them
Right.
separately.
Oh,
But
wow.
Similarly, the Hammer Horror collection of like 8 films is out this week, which is
Yeah.
funny when you scroll down. Like the very first review on Amazon is, "Hey, be careful! This isn't the Universal Monsters movies. This just looks like it is from the cover." Especially since they're releasing it the same week. So
Hammer's hit or miss for me.
yeah,
Some of their stuff's really good.
Hammer's interesting.
Like I like their Mummy a lot.
Yeah.
there's
I like their Dracula ones with Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
There is a Godzilla 1984 or Return of Godzilla Blu-ray release, so if you're a big fan. There's also some straight-to-DVD Bruce Willis movie called Marauders, so maybe do that. I don't know. Ryan, can you explain to me, there's an Evil Dead 2 release this week?
Yeah.
What is this?
I think it's
this
just a
doesn't-
repackaging.
Okay, but it's also got it's got the shot of him with the shotgun from Army of Darkness on the cover?
Well, when's the last
or
time
is
you
that
saw
also
Evil
in-
Dead 2?
It's been a while.
Evil
does
Dead
he also
2
do that?
he does because
okay.
they say the hero from the sky. It's actually a really funny, like, quick joke in Evil Dead 2. The lady's reading, and she's like, the hero from the sky saved us, and Bruce Campbell looks at Ash says, "Wow, he didn't do a very good job," and it's him.
Yeah.
So it's a little funny meta joke there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I just saw that cover and it's been a while. So I was confused. It's not a terrible cover. I don't like it as much as the skull.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of Evil Dead, did you see they're going to release a extended edition
exciting.
of their remake?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I guess Fede Alvarez accidentally said it, and now they're like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out in October."
He's probably been trying to get him to do it for a while. He's like, "Fuck! if I say it in a press junket somewhere."
I read an interview with him actually a couple weeks ago, and he said they accidentally released it on TV in the UK.
Oh, really?
And he said he actually thinks his theatrical cut's better because it's leaner. And he said that's the cut he likes, but if someone wants to watch, the director's cut,
Oh, okay.
No,
I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not every movie has an extended cut that's actually better.
Yeah. And it's not. And he even says it's not really a director's cut because his director's cut is
Right.
the
He feels like
theatrical
he
one.
got the good, which makes sense because that that theatrical cut is real good.
And it's really hardcore. I mean,
Yeah.
There is some shots though. I mean, I do remember the trailer had some shots. There's a shot of Jane Levy's character leaving and walking on a road that's never in the movie, and it's actually remember the original poster was awesome, where it was like that kind of foggy her walking away.
Yeah.
So
yeah, yeah, and I could totally see how there may be good character moments that were cut out to keep the tension really tight.
I'm sure
because
that's what it is.
that's a really tense movie, but. Ryan, there is a Blu-ray copy of the Exotic Dances of Betty Page that you need to get for your wife.
Oh, okay.
Just as a heads up.
She has this poster of Betty Page in our bedroom, and it creeps me out
Really?
because it's supposed to be sexy, but it looks like she's just mad.
Okay. Interesting.
But my wife loves, what James
Page.
knows, pinups and Betty
Yeah.
Page. So.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised. Like as she's gotten older, there's a lot less Betty Page in your house than there was in her like college dorm room.
I know. And now it's peppered with George's John T. original art and Rod Stewart picture vinyl.
I think somehow you won. I think that's what that means.
Of course I did. My wife's hot. Of course I won.
Nicely done, sir. The Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie is getting a Blu-ray release this week. So there.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes me want to get it, even though that movie's a piece of shit.
And before we get to the real good stuff, there is a adaptation of Wise Blood, which is a Flannery O'Connor novel that I did not know existed. It's a John Huston film that I am going to have to go purchase because
You've never seen Wise Blood?
No, I love Flannery O'Connor and I've read Wise Blood.
But you've never seen the movie.
I've never seen the movie. So
is this new release a Criterion?
No. It's just it's a hey, here's a Blu-ray.
Because there is a Criterion of it that you can get.
Really?
But
okay.
I don't know if they ever put it out on Blu-ray, so maybe they lost the rights or something.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Is it really good?
I've seen every John Huston movie. I need to read the book to see what I'm missing from it.
Sure.
But I was a little lost.
Okay.
Maybe
then
that's normal.
I will probably buy the straight to Blu-ray or like this Blu-ray version and not invest $30 in a Criterion then. Unless I love it.
Well, no. If you like this book, then you'll probably like the movie. But
I mean, I love like Wise Blood is not my favorite Flannery O'Connor piece. I really like her sense of humor. If the movie isn't a little wicked, then I think
where the wild things are.
Anyway,
I didn't read that one either. How did it turn out?
Raising Cain is getting a Scream Factory release this week, which I've never seen, Ryan.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Lithgow's very good in it.
Okay.
He plays two characters.
This cover
or
is
does
awesome. Right, yeah. The cover is really cool.
Spoilers.
Like they did a good job of like, you know, it's not just like split down the middle and like half evil, half good. Like it's just this band, and I think that's neat.
Yeah, Scream Factory always does a good job on their collector's editions covers.
Speaking of which, I saved the best for last. Metal Storm: The Destruction of Jared Sin in 3D is getting its Scream Factory release this week.
It's high noon at the end of the universe.
It's so cool. This is the most amazing cover, certainly of this week, maybe of this month. I don't even know how to describe this. The guy's holding up like a crystal Iron Man skull, and he's got like a denim jacket on, and there's this sexy lady who's like grabbing at it. And over here, there's like him shooting a dude with a sword or some shit, and there's also a crazy robot man with a crazy robot arm, and some spaceships, and then like this looming figure in the background. You just go look up Metal Storm: The Destruction of Jared Sin 3D. Which I love that subtitle because it implies
Isn't Sin spelled S-Y-N?
Yeah, yes. Sorry, I didn't point out the dumbness. It implies either that there is going to be a sequel where we learn more about Jared Sin, or that we should already be well informed about Jared Sin and excited to see his destruction. This is terrible.
Those flowers are beautiful, honey. Did you grow them yourself?
Oh, really? Oh, that's very nice. Right, yeah. It's coming. The cold, that is. Anyway, that's Blu-rays this week.
Nice. Real news.
It's real news.
You know, I can let the cat out of the bag because it's been spoiled for our fans. We did a Blu-ray commentary with Zach Howard for Batman Superman.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we both watched that movie.
Ultimate Edition?
I got
Ultimate Edition.
I've officially seen the Ultimate Edition for the first time.
And you'll have to see, I don't think any amount of...
we can't hype it.
Yeah, redeeming qualities of that film would ever sway Zach in his opinion of it.
Oh, no.
So look forward to that soon.
That commentary is really funny, though.
And, of course, the biggest news of the week is we saw set photos of the Shocker on Spider-Man Homecoming.
Dude.
I just want him to say, is it a shock to your system?
A shock to your system. Oh, God. I will die in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love the costume, but I also think it will probably look better on film.
Yeah, well,
like the set photos are not the best.
To me, the costume makes sense because it looks like he has like a torn off shirt.
Oh,
totally.
But
the selling point is the gauntlets. He has the gauntlets,
right?
And it's yellow and brown.
The only reason why I'm critical is that I have said before that I think it's one of the coolest like superhero or villain costumes, or at least it's one of my favorites. And they do a good job of like hinting at a lot of the aspects, but it's the mohawk looks weird, you know. Which if you've never seen The Shocker, and I just told you that the mohawk of his costume looks weird, then you don't get what I'm saying. But hopefully, I'm sure that when we see it in the film, we'll be like, "Holy shit, he looks so cool!"
I can't believe The Shocker is in a Spider-Man movie.
I'm ecstatic. This is like my version of Mysterio being played by Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. It's so weird because I'm such a huge Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
But they like haven't let like any details about this come out. Like they're pretty sure Michael Keaton's the Vulture, but they haven't said that he's playing the Vulture in it yet.
Just look, you've got him hanging on your wall. Look how cool that costume is.
I do.
Oh shit!
See, the padded quilt costume keeps him so he doesn't feel the effects of his vibration gauntlets.
Oh my god, it's just so fun.
So is the Shocker being in this movie shocking to you guys?
I hate you. But yes, I never thought this would happen.
You know, when I read the news, my computer literally trembled.
I know. When you were the one that brought it to my attention, and I got it on my phone, I was like, "Holy shit!"
I know.
I thought.
Like, I heard rumors about it.
I'm so glad you didn't tell me that you'd heard about that because, like, they got a really
good actor to play him too. I forget who. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's like a really big character actor.
Awesome. Oh man. Other news. Man, is any of this? I chose all of this before, and I don't know that any of this is really news.
I was into the Shanghai Dawn.
Yeah, I was going to
after,
say
like
Jackie
13
Chan.
years.
Yeah, Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson to come back to do another Shanghai.
He's directing
Noon.
it too. It's a fun director.
I don't know. I didn't
Look it open because I remember someone whoever's making it's pretty fun.
Directing's not fun, Ryan.
It's Jared Hess.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
totally down.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, great. That sounds fun. I really love.
stand corrected.
Shanghai Noon is possibly my favorite Jackie Chan movie. Just because like he is so. It's not even because of the action. Though I do think that some of the action in there, because it's set in the past, is really creative and cool. Like him fighting American Indians is a great sequence. Or like when he's whipping stuff around with the horseshoe. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway,
I think the scene in Nights where it's Charlie Chaplin-esque, I think is amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
That's a great reveal at the end of that movie, by the way.
Yep.
Oh yeah. But Shanghai Noon is like the movie where I think he delivers the best like emotional performance.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean that sequence in the end where like he has that turn and he has to like turn his back on China in order to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like so good.
Yep.
That
Makes me excited because I think him and Owen Wilson have great chemistry.
Absolutely.
And I'm always down for Jackie Chan fun movies.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, because even though there's some really silly stuff like not quite Rush Hour 3 dumb, but there's some silly stuff in Shanghai Nights that I think makes it definitely lesser. Like the two of them together is so fun that it's hard to knock it, you know.
It's just fun movies. And you know, every once in a while you just need fun movies.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially now that we're getting into the fall and everything's going to be so dour.
Yeah. My hope is that they keep it as a Western. Because I think that is one of the things that not ruins, but that is not as cool about Nights is like them in this Western community thing to me was always really fun. So hopefully they'll take it back. But
Didn't they write in the article what the idea for the setting is?
yeah, but I didn't read it. B, because I was in a hurry. But B, I don't know, like, until the movie comes out, like, remember when Steven Spielberg said there wouldn't be any CG? I'm just saying. I don't really trust anything until I see a trailer. Jeff Nichols, who I'm very quickly becoming a huge fan of, is going to remake Alien Nation, which I've never watched. Have either of you guys seen Alien Nation?
I've seen it. I haven't right.
Like,
in it.
You've been like, hey, there's Alien Nation over there. Yeah.
Some guys in weird heads.
Yeah. It honestly makes me want to go watch the original movie. I don't give a shit about the TV show. Just because like whatever that guy's going to work on, especially from what I'm hearing about Loving before its release, I'm pretty excited about.
Who is he?
Jeff Nichols, Mud, and Midnight Special.
Never mind. Just move on.
All right.
He directed Midnight Special, which was a really cool, interesting, different sci-fi movie this year. So him sort of taking that skill and making something new is cool. And then did you guys see the trailer for Free Fire? This is the most fun trailer I've seen in a long time. So go check out the trailer for Free Fire. It's Brie Larson, and she's adorable.
Is the whole movie just one gunfight?
Yes, the whole movie is a gunfight.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the first 20 minutes or whatever is a setup, clearly.
So
But then-
like the first 20 minutes is them like going to one place and they realize they have to go back through a gunfight. That's my.
You're
Mad
saying
Max.
it's Mad Max of yeah. No, it appears it's like the first 15 or whatever, however long the first section is. Like they'll introduce you to the players, and then the whole movie is them in a warehouse with way too many guns shooting at each other, and clearly like alliances are formed and break, and and it looks really funny. And like I've seen a lot of people compare it to a Shane Black trailer because it feels like it. Like the dialogue is snappy and smart like that. And it's cool to start seeing Brie Larson kick ass and prepare herself to be the new Iron Man of the Marvel universe. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's all the news that's worth talking about. Unless there's something you guys remember, but
Nope.
there was a lot of like new trailers and stuff that whatever.
Jason or no? What? Who's playing Deathstroke?
Oh, that's right. Ben Affleck revealed
Joe Manganiello.
Joe Menla Marshmallow.
That dude what played a dog in True Blood. That guy.
Yeah, I think it's a cool way to announce
Pee Wee
it.
Herman's best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
that's,
yeah. Pee Wee Herman's best
and I
friend.
think like the leaked footage is cool. So I'm
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And
he's
it's a
cool.
different Batman villain for him to fight. I'm down.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's everything we talked about 2 weeks ago. That it's the most excited I've been for that movie yet. Not because of him. Like I think he's really good. But having it be Deathstroke is pretty neat. So
This week on Real Nerds Podcast, we saw Kickboxer Vengeance. Zach, should people see Kickboxer Vengeance?
I didn't see this movie.
So fuck you. James, should people see Kickboxer Vengeance?
no, I'd really like my $7 back.
Brad, should people see Kickboxer Vengeance? I can't say Kickboxer.
No, Kickboxer.
Kickboxer.
Sadly, no.
Oh, I feel so much better.
Is this or Independence Day the worst movie I've seen this year?
Oh, come on!
Independence Day is still worse?
What?
Wow.
At least Independence Day has Micah Monroe in it. This movie is...
Yeah, Independence Day is also just a lots of money mess. This one at least had...
this one doesn't even have the money.
Yeah, at least this one has Van Damme going, come on! And that's better than anything in Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, in the day and a half he was on set.
So both
Yeah.
episodes, I have been cautiously making sure I don't spend any money on either of these movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad I just did on demand, though. Anyways, here's the trailer for Kickboxer Vengeance.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Eric Sloan, world champion!
So who wants to go to Thailand? No rules. No refs. And the chance to be remembered for a lifetime.
You set him up.
Eric knew what he was getting himself into.
You trained my brother Muay Thai?
Yes, I did.
Why would you let him fight that monster?
I train people. I don't tell them when to fight and who to fight.
You trained me to fight Tong Po.
If you're afraid to die in a fight, you're dead.
You don't have to do this.
Your brother was brave. Your brother was a warrior.
Yeah, so when this movie opened,
I wanted to turn it off after 6 minutes.
me too. I'll tell you a funny story. Zach, are you all right?
Did it go down the wrong pipe? Okay. This movie.
Okay, we'll wait to make sure that Zach's not going to die on us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't go dying on me now.
This is the episode where Zach dies.
So, before I talk about the plot of the movie, I rented it this morning, and my wife went out and ran errands, so I was just hanging out with my little guy, and he was playing with his cars, and it was like, I don't know, when did I text you? I was like 9. So I'm like,
Okay, I'm good.
Are you sure? That sounded like you were dying. I'm not even joking. And so I was like, I'm going to get some breakfast, and I paused it, and I realized it was only 22 minutes into it. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So anyways, the Kickboxer Vengeance starts off, I guess, in mid-story, where this guy shows up at an underground kickboxer temple.
It's leftover set pieces from the Maze Runner is what it is.
And so he goes in there because Dave Bautista, whose name is Master Poe.
Yeah. That's from the original version.
Is it?
Oh, good.
It's this weird hybrid of like it's the same storyline, but like also a reimagining of the original.
Yeah, I got that, but like I'm saying his name's Dave Bautista, and his name's Master Poe in the movie.
No, the actor's name is Dave Bautista.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay,
but his name's Master Poe. He's not Asian at all.
Oh no, agreed. Oh,
yeah.
totally.
So like, I'm like
he's also underutilized and poorly choreographed, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, and so he gets there and he's like, I just want to train, and there's some drunk French guy,
right? Yes,
that won't let him in, and he's.
I hope that drunk French guy gets a really impactful character arc where he gets redeemed by the end.
And so he says, "You can train with us, but prove yourself." And then he just randomly starts fighting guys.
Well, he's like, I can't take you to Master Poe unless I know you're not completely without any skills.
Yeah.
And then they fight.
And then he beats that guy up. He's like, he's fast. But then the black guy is faster and beats him.
Does he fight weird?
Yeah.
Does the guy with all the dreadlocks, does he kind of like...
It must be some form of martial arts. I mean, I'm not versed in martial arts, so I have no idea.
It looks awkward.
Yeah, it's... And then he goes there and you find out that Poe killed his brother in some...
His brother is like a world champion, but in
karate guy.
But in like the leftover set from the Gold's Gym from Creed.
Yeah.
And but apparently people care. Gina Carano shows up and is completely wasted in this movie. All the coolest people in this movie are in it for like 15 minutes, and they don't do anything.
See, I mean, I already kind of knew that Van Damme wasn't going to be in it very much when you look at the poster.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things where they're trying to sell the movie. So we'll put most of our money in Van Damme being here for 2 weeks and build the rest of the film around it. And the problem is the lead actor, the lead actress are not interesting at all.
Yeah.
They can't act. It's boring.
By lead actress, are you saying that woman that shows up every now and then and tells him to stop fighting?
Yeah, then, I mean, she looks pretty good naked, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think they cast her on that because she's terrible.
You guys didn't see it in the theater. Did you catch all the parts where it wasn't actually Van Damme's voice doing the dialogue?
No.
Really?
You didn't notice?
No.
Anytime he's talking to anyone and his back is to the camera, listen hard.
Oh, I did notice one time where his back
Especially
was to the
at the
camera
end.
and it sounded like he said something that was ADR'd, but I guess I didn't it just sounded like really bad ADR to me.
Yeah, I don't think that was. I didn't check the credits. And I probably never will.
So
it may be. If
so
somebody
what you're
else did
saying
lines,
to me
it may be
is
uncredited.
when his back was turned, they had some impersonator saying his lines so they didn't have to pay him more money.
Yeah, it didn't sound like his voice at all to me, and I've watched a lot of his movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would
But I think
defer to the expert here.
it might have been a scenario where, like, in the edit, they were like, "Oh, this didn't work out, so we got to Band-Aid this.
Yeah.
And we can't get Van Damme back, so let's just hire this guy who
one
sounds like him." And
the one the time I remember it happening, in my mind it was just like, oh, there's some bad ADR, and my second thought was that was a waste of ADR too. Like it wasn't like a line I needed.
yeah,
Because I don't need his character either.
the most glaring one is the final fight where he's encouraging
That's
Kurt Sloan to.
Well, that's the thing. The final fight drove me
sequence.
crazy because it kept on cutting to Van Damme, and he'd just say, "Come on!"
Yeah, he's like standing He's like standing in a corner where they rebuilt part of the set, and he never interacts with anybody, and he just keeps going like, "Huh," or like reacting a little bit, and you're like, this is so awkward.
It is. And you always have hope because, again, I mean, I talk about how much I love Roadhouse.
Yeah.
I'm always hoping for like a B movie action movie that's fun.
Sure.
and I'll always hold out hope. But even the part where they're putting glass on their gloves, the glass looks like candy.
It's
they did that in the first one.
Well, they did, but in the first one, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's an '80s movie and it just looks better to me. I don't know what it is.
You can see less detail.
I knew like there so many of the shots of this movie are either superfluous or way longer than they need to be. I knew I was in trouble like 6 minutes in or even less when he's like, yeah, it's almost worth watching just the opening sequence for this dumb shot where it's when he's at the door and he gets invited in, and it's like it cuts back and forth from like him walking outside into the door to the inside of the door where we see the door open and he starts to walk in, back outside to where he continues walking out through the door. I'm like, it's 4 fucking shots to get a guy through a door. Like no, and that happens so many times where like with the glass where it's these long shots of them like slowly grinding glass into their fists.
And honestly, I can't watch scenes like that without thinking of Hot Shots Part 2.
Right.
Because like all I think about is gummy bears, M&Ms, gummy bears, M&Ms, because they're sticking their hands in candy.
Yeah.
It's funny. Anyways, and every time it's like I wanted Van Damme to be like the Mr. Miyagi, where it's going to be cool, like montages. But they never really took off. And it seems like even the reveal of him, you knew it was coming, but I was hoping it'd be a cooler shot.
Yeah.
But like the pan into him or the race into him.
The whip zoom.
The whip zoom was like shaky and looked like it was. They didn't really zoom into him. They kept on just cutting and making the picture bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Zach didn't see it. When Kurt Sloan and his attorney or whatever show up to Van Damme's compound, there's like this Asian guy doing martial arts on the deck.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy who didn't see, he's like hanging something on a ladder in the corner. Mm-hmm. And so they focus on the guy doing the martial arts, like, oh, that must be the guy who trained his brother. But no, then Van Damme turns around and it's like, it's not a reveal. He just kind of.
That sounds
stupid.
See,
you keep on waiting. Like some of the montage stuff was cool. Like I like when they were like breaking coconuts and stuff. But then
and he was like, "This is what is Poe's head."
Yeah,
and then I thought, like,
it gets cool, and then it'd be cut with detective lady being like, "I don't want you to go out there." The first montage, and then it would like show them dry humping, and then it would cut to Van Damme. Like having I think that part was kind of fun.
Yeah,
and then it'd cut, and then you'd have to have more crappy story, and then he had another montage where it was cut with him training even harder, and then she gets naked. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I just kept on...
And there's no explanation as to why, because he gets arrested early on in the flashback because he tries to kill Master Poe before he does all the training and stuff to avenge his brother.
Yeah, with a gun.
And the girl's just like... Yeah, with a gun. Tries to kill him with a gun. And the girl's like...
but he does it because he's stupid. Like, he doesn't shoot him because he's an idiot.
Yeah. But, all she does is say, like... I managed to get you on a plane to go home, and then she does she also tell him like don't come back?
No, remember the corrupt police tell him to get on a plane and not come back, and he comes back with the gun, and she's like Royal Thai Police,
right? But then he gets arrested.
I don't think she's Thai.
I don't think she is either, and him and Van Damme break out of jail.
I don't think there's any Thai people in this movie.
I don't think so either. I don't know. The movie sucks.
Yeah. I was going to talk more about the audio, but you guys didn't see it in the theater. It's like there's like really repetitive music, especially in that fight in the street where they're like jumping on the vans and stuff.
Oh yeah. What was that? Yeah. Like make sure they don't get to their destination, and they show up with like elephants. Yeah. And then when they were fighting on the elephants, you could tell they're like paper mache.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Gosh, man. And I don't even understand like the premise of the like. Okay, so his brother voluntarily it takes like $200,000 to go and fight this guy and gets killed. Like, but then he's like, Van Damme tells us like he knew he was gonna die, or like he knew what he was doing.
Well, actually, I like I do like the Van Damme line where he says, "I train him to fight. I don't tell him who to fight." Like, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't think the game
was...
Yeah,
it's cool like the shittiest Rambo or Rocky that's ever lived. Like, this passionless asshole of a trainer who's like, I can make you good, but I can't make you a better person.
That's too. It looks like Van Damme did not care.
Oh yeah,
that he was in it.
Well, yeah, all he had to do was sell the movie.
Right.
But I think the fight was like, you go fight, but you don't have to die, and because the police raided in the middle of the
police raid and shoot.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but then there's also like you can also just get killed by a sword in a fight in like it is like weird Maze Runner dungeon thing.
Oh yeah, swords. So
stop.
It's kickboxer. So the first round is kickboxing, and the second round is glass, and the third round is swords.
Yes.
Kickboxing.
And the worst choreography because it's just them using the two swords as one, right? Like with two hands, but swinging them the same way, and like hitting each other's pair of swords until one of them drops a sword, until neither of them has swords left, and then they kickbox.
They go back to kickboxing,
and I was like,
and then the one sword flies across and gets stuck in the chain link fence, and has enough hold that eventually Master Po's throat falls on it and cuts his throat open, and his legs still keep him. Like, that sword is almost aluminum.
Yeah.
And it's holding up this 300-pound dude.
Like, I'm okay with
by the neck.
With a like kickboxer style. Like, this movie's really stupid, and like the plot is dumb and the acting is poor and the sets are cheap and all of the things that we've complained about. If at least you went and got some great martial artists who are going to do like some awesome, well choreographed, cool fight scenes. So that when I walk away, I'm right. Like, go get the Thai warrior guy, or like people who are really amazing fighters, and get them in this movie. So that way, that becomes the entertainment, and I will forgive literally everything else.
Yeah,
because
that's a problem,
clearly that's
too,
what you wanted to make.
Because Dave Bautista is a wrestler, so he's not built for like kickboxing.
He's built to look cool, and then they give him this choreography where it's just like he blocks a couple kicks, and then he just like swings an arm, and I'm like, dude, he did cooler stunts in Guardians of the Galaxy where he doesn't do anything in that movie but look cool. Like, it's just really boring.
Yeah.
And I got excited because you reminded me about about like his like hype band who in the first scene when they're in the Maze Runner set and he's like hyping up Dave Bautista, and he's like and the last thing he says to introduce him is, "Check it out." And he says it like twice in that fight scene. Oh, now we'll fight with swords. Check it out. Really? That's your badass line of dialogue? Oh.
By the way, the drunk guy who shows up at the end fight, he's like in the crowd, and he has a broken arm. When did that happen?
I have no idea. Yeah, because he gets this whole redemption where like he's working for the guy, and then he has this fight with Jean-Claude Van Damme, where
Van Damme converts him, basically.
Yeah, Van Damme doesn't kill him, and instead is like, "You're going to work for me, and you're going to stop drinking alcohol," which is, of course, the cure to all alcoholism. And even though at the beginning, like, don't the dudes say like he's faster when he's drunk? Like he's a better fighter when he's drunk? Which maybe that's the story. Maybe it's the like
it's that drunken master style of fighting.
Yeah, like he stops drinking, gets in a fight, breaks his arm, but that's all off. Like he's got this amazing story we don't get to see. Oh, sheesh.
So, were you guys so unenthused that you wouldn't want to see Kickboxer Retaliation?
Yeah, aren't there like two more? Didn't they already say they're making like two more after this?
Are they?
They said that there's going to be one upcoming. They announced it last November.
Oh, yeah.
It'll star Alan Moosey, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Christopher Lambert, Roladino, Mike Tyson, and some name I cannot pronounce.
Mike Tyson?
This sounds made up.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I thought I remembered saying that this was like, either that this was a part of a trilogy, or maybe it was that they had announced two at the, because I thought for sure they were making like that this was like the start of a whole new Kickboxer trilogy. Which, if it is,
but after watching this, it seems like they just barely got it done.
Oh, you can tell because when they arrest that one lady, she's like, "I'm going to come back."
Oh yeah, Gina Carano.
Yeah,
she's so cool. Like, she's not amazing, but she can be fantastic. Like in that kind of a movie, and so I kept waiting for. I
can't believe she didn't have like a kick-ass fight scene.
Right, like I thought at the end, like everything was gonna turn to bedlam, and like she would start fighting people. Like maybe she'd jump down in the ring, and then she'd fight Van Damme. Like that would have been cool.
And I was hoping too, like the pretty police lady, like was like some great martial artist, and she was gonna fight the other lady.
Oh, yeah,
There
right.
was no, like, sweet, like,
No.
chick fighting.
No. None of the
With,
fighting.
like,
None of the fighters.
Katana fans and stuff.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah. Are the fight scenes in Kung Pao Under the Fist better than this movie?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, I think that the cow fight is better choreographed
And more entertaining.
Yeah. Wow.
Bummer. Oh, I guess I always have Expendables too if I want to watch Van Damme be awesome.
Yeah. Well, I have Jean-Claude Van Johnson, which is way better than this.
Oh, yeah, half an hour of that was way better than the hour and a half of it. Oh, couldn't wait for it to...
It's so terrible. Yeah, don't see this movie.
So anyway, next week on Real Nerds, we're seeing Blair Witch.
What? Is that really what next week's movie is?
It is.
Yeah.
Adam Weingart, it should be good.
I mean, Ryan will watch it, and then the rest of us will just listen to him talk about it.
Yeah, works for me.
I feel like I got burned the last time.
Actually,
I don't know. I'm curious.
if I have time, I might do that victory screening for free.
Which one?
I got an invite to a Blair Witch
Oh, yeah,
victory
it's
screening
like
on
the
Wednesday,
14th. I work or I do it.
Yeah.
but it might be full up by now.
Oh, usually victory screenings go in 20 minutes. Yeah.
So yeah, from all of us at Real Nerds, bye.
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 Independence Day still sucks. Real Nerds is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. We would also like to thank Sparks Mandrill for our music. Additional music from Ben Sounds. Thank you to Alamo Drafthouse. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. And thank you for listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.